All right, happy Thursday and welcome at 7:20 tonight to 272 games of the NFL season. The 106th NFL season that will culminate on February 8th in Santa Clara, California, when Buffalo and Green Bay will play for the Super Bowl. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome in. How we doing? Welcome to the season.
Just immediately. I mean,
well, because we're going to do something that, we're going to be groundbreaking today on the show. It's Gary and Matt, by the way, with Jimmy, if you're just tuning in. Jimmy, what the hell happened to the Open?
It was loaded and it just didn't play.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I'm still trying to get back.
I've had a couple of Friday nights like that before. We're going to do something groundbreaking on the show today.
What are we going to do?
There is 4 million sports talk shows out there and podcasts, because everybody's got a podcast.
That's true.
Even
I do.
Kudos. I was on a podcast yesterday with good guys over at Common Fan. So they just released that this morning.
Do you want to be on my podcast? Take 5.
Don't we do a 4-hour podcast every day?
Well, no. Yes, we do.
Okay. No. Hey, your people talk to my people, and I would think about coming on Take 5.
The joke about you coming on Take 5 would be that it'd be impossible for you to come on Take 5. You coming on Take 5 would just be a Take 5 edition with Gary Sharp.
No, maybe we'll talk about stuff that is different. Non-sportsical things.
Well,
now that I would listen to.
A Take 5 on what? Like, I feel like you and our Take 5s would just be about complaining about hotels and people.
I don't complain about hotels. Only the ones that, like the Marriott, that have Sharpie-proof their rooms. They don't have their thermostats that go up to 85 when I keep punching.
Is that the only thing that makes you like is a good hotel for you if it goes up to 85 degrees?
No, I mean,
do these hotels try to freeze
things? There's other things. I like staying in hotels.
I do too.
I like grabbing those hotel points.
They weren't well.
Are they cracking down? Did you ruin it?
No. Things have. Omaha men's basketball has improved a little bit, where we don't stay in as many hotels that have free breakfast.
Oh.
So we cater. So we have our own breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We ain't messing around. Hey, go to the NCAA tournament one year. We're going back. Okay.
The continental breakfast that I went to for this wedding.
Yeah.
Absolutely elite.
Yeah, it sounded like you stayed in some nice hotels out there in Denver.
Well, we were very
McMountains.
Very lucky to.
Yeah.
I mean, the McMountains were incredible. Everywhere you look, there was just a mountain and a golf course. It was a beautiful time.
That is a beautiful part of the country. But we're going to do something today that nobody else has done. Nobody else is even going to try. I am going to say that pretty sarcastically at 6:13 in the morning. We are, throughout the show, going to do NFL picks.
Oh, my God.
Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that. But Buffalo, Green Bay, make plans now. We'll see you in Santa Clara in February.
Are you telling me that we're going to pick the winner of every single division? We're going to
every game.
All
240.
No, God.
You know why we're going to do that? You guys want to know why?
Why?
Because we love football.
We do love
We love week 1 football. We love college football. We love anything that has Manning attached to it. We love big brands. And tonight, we got 2 big brands playing, the Super Bowl champions and the Drama Cowboys, meeting tonight at 7:20.
Big innings on tonight on MLB.
We love football.
We do love
football is here. Some will say that when the NFL starts, then it's football season.
Well, I do think that week one of the college football season, outside of this week one, is typically just like a little like appetizer where you don't get your full fill. This week, week 1 this year was absolutely incredible, but that's an outlier.
We love football. We love television.
I came in here super excited.
We have no life.
Raring and revving to go, just talking about my favorite league, and then you just dropped the Green Bay Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Why shouldn't they?
No.
Because he doesn't want to say the Chiefs. He never picks the Chiefs to go.
Well, so
have you picked them since I've been here? And they've had some great teams.
Yeah, twice I did.
Okay, you did pick them.
4 straight Super Bowls.
Still wild.
6 of 7, you'd make the AFC Championship game. No, I'm kind of going against the percentages.
Okay.
Also, I hate that Kansas City's playing in Brazil tomorrow night.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
I hate that game.
Missouri roads are bad. You don't have to go to Brazil.
Okay.
Bad, though.
So I don't want to play in Brazil because weird things happen.
The Zika
Jordan
virus.
Love got injured last year.
That is
You
true.
never know what the field is going to be like.
Good point.
Okay. And I'm going to have to hear everything about Mahomes. Can he throw vertical? What's going on? Also, here's the other thing. And this isn't like a deterrent because I'm going to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I flipped on my YouTube TV this morning in the office, it was right there.
Yeah.
Make sure tomorrow night you're ready for it. I don't like Rich Eisen doing play-by-play.
Whoa.
Yeah, I like Rich Eisen's talk show. I love him on the NFL Network.
That's how I am with Fowler. Great host.
Yeah, I
Great on
don't
tennis.
the play-by-play that he'll do because he does a few games like the NFL Network, and they're always like they don't allow Rich Eisen to do any games in the United States.
No, they don't.
You have to go overseas to have Rich Eisen do your game. So there's a lot of different things. I don't like a division game being in Brazil. So
I get that. I do want to ask you, are you sick and tired of your team playing on primetime?
Or days that aren't normal?
What?
What do you what? I think this is a fair question.
Yeah, would you rather this game be Sunday at 3:25?
Well,
would you rather be only part of the country is going to get it?
This is the mind of a fan of a very bad team.
Well,
I hate it when my team. Well, we've been trying, Gary. I mean, we've been given what I think is our best effort for the last 15 years. Okay. We've hired a lot of different general managers. We've hired a lot of different coaches. We've given the college try and a lot of different quarterbacks. I think we're doing our best. I think George wants to win. I just don't think he knows how to. So I don't like when my team plays on primetime.
The only thing I don't like about the Chiefs schedule is
you play on every single day of the week.
Yeah, and they are all over the place.
Like
they play in so many different days and so many different times. But I would rather take that than being relegated to the noon game, which I went through for the longest time with the Chiefs. But they play tomorrow night in Brazil. But we get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday football. Again, we are spoiled in this country when it comes to our ball. Remember when college football used to put a nice little juicy Thursday night game?
Yeah, it was an ACC game. It was good.
Or wasn't it
or Louisville?
Was it a Kenny Hill game? They're at South Carolina when he was playing at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Like the college football would sneak in a good Thursday night game. Now the NFL has scared college football away on Thursdays.
We're on Thursdays.
Yeah. Well, now they're going to go. I mean, Goodell keeps talking about this 18 games.
They're just going to take every day,
and it just seems like
I don't think the days. I think they'll move up. I think week 0 in college football will become week 1, and Labor Day weekend, which
used to be
college football has commanded, will become the kickoff to the NFL. I can see them putting an extra week on the front instead of the back.
Well, I think Goodell yesterday said that they would go to President's Day if they were to go to the 18-game NFL schedule. So,
which makes sense. You have play on Sunday, and it's a national holiday on that Monday.
Unless you work in sports radio.
I think they got to be careful, though. The NFL does.
Whoa. When has the NFL ever been careful? They're greedy.
16,
they're greedy.
16
See what they're doing to red zone?
Well,
ruining it.
We'll get into that. But 16 games was perfect to me. That was the perfect amount. 1 bye week. You're 8-8. You're 9-7.
I like
you're
that
10-6
schedule.
Yeah, it just made sense. 16 games just made sense mathematically. It was cool. Then you went to 17, and it was like, okay, it's one extra game. It's one extra week. It's an odd number. They look weird, right? The numbers look weird. It is what it is. But 18 games, like, I hope they just pump the brakes, because part of the allure of the NFL is that there aren't that many games and you don't have that many opportunities to bounce back.
That's true.
Win.
The NFL doesn't pump brakes, though.
Like more, if they go to
Monday,
what do you say? NFL's undefeated.
You can't lose 3 games in a row.
NFL's too big to fail.
You can't lose 3 games in a row in the NFL. Like, that's like currently right now.
So you're now going from the schedule to it's going to force you to lose 3 games in a row?
No, it's not going to force you to lose
Get a better
3
quarterback.
games in a row.
My team can do that.
But I'm saying if you lose 3, see, that has nothing to do with his inability
Mike Tomczak
to check
didn't
down
paint his
the ball,
nails.
All right. If Caleb Williams, whether or not he paints his nails,
he looks to check down, he looks at his nail and like, that paint.
Bobby Douglas didn't paint his nails.
I don't think he's looking at his nails when he's checking
Jim McMahon.
down.
He may have.
Vince
Jim
Evans.
McMahon definitely did paint his nails.
So you don't want 18 games, 2 bye weeks.
I don't want
more money. Salary cap goes up.
More football.
I don't want 20 games.
More football.
I don't want 20 games in a year, because if we get to 20 games in a year,
I'd like to play 21 if I'm playing 18 regular season games.
Well, I'm talking about 20 regular season games. Like,
you're never going to 20.
I I don't know, man. They keep going up. They just keep adding more and more games.
I think 18 is the ceiling. I know the NFL loves money, and the NFL is too big to fail. They would cap it at 18. 18, 2 bye weeks. Okay.
That would be fine.
I'm good.
I wouldn't want any more than that, because I love that every single game matters, and that you can't go on a bad streak, and that you're like holding on, you're clutching onto your pearls every single fourth quarter because it matters. That's what separates the NFL from all the leagues.
Isn't college football that way?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
College have fewer games,
which is why college football is probably the next greatest sport after NFL right now.
That's why something you're saying. That's why other sports, Major League Baseball is going to drop 8 games.
I think
they're going to go from 162 to at least 154 in the next 5 years.
That'll help the Rockies.
The NBA may drop 5 games. The NHL could drop a lot of games, and most of the country would be like, oh, okay. But that's the allure of football, is you wait so long to have it. You wait 8 months, and then it's here, and you consume it, and then it's over, and you're like, whoa. But
metaphor
it's
for
such
life.
A sample size. I mean, look at you get 12 opportunities to play college football.
Yeah. Okay.
As a fan, you get 7, 8 times to go watch your team in person in your own stadium. Mm-hmm. So it makes it more of a, I'm going to say rewarding. It makes it more satisfying.
Yes.
Or it's like, oh my gosh, we only get a couple of these. We got to enjoy them. Like, that's the thing about baseball. You got 162 games. Okay. If you're a season ticket holder in baseball, man, that's a commitment. 81 games. If you're a season ticket holder for a college football program or NFL, you're 7 to 9 games. And you're like, you know what? Doesn't seem that much. And those 7 to 9, I'm giving everything I can. The full season ticket holder for baseball, you think they're giving it all they can for 81 games?
No.
Even in the NBA, when the Clippers have come to town,
I don't ever think 20. I think 18 would be the cap, because it might be a slog to get to 18, but they will eventually. But the NFL is too big to fail. And look at tonight. Tonight has the Eagles and the Cowboys, and it will draw monster ratings. Mm-hmm. It'll be a huge weekend of ratings. I imagine the Ravens-Bills game Sunday night, which really isn't talked about much.
No, I mean, we're talking was the game.
We're talking about Mark Andrews going back to Buffalo. That will get monster ratings. Your game on Monday night will get monster ratings.
I'll even watch.
I mean, people love football. Look at this weekend in college football. Fox and ESPN numbers that make your head spin. I mean, Nebraska and Cincinnati had a nice number. What, 3.3 million?
Yeah.
And that was 7th? That's a good number. And that was 7th on the opening weekend. And granted, they played on a Thursday night. We love football. We love football on TV. Mm-hmm. We don't get much of it. We also love brands. We love names.
Yeah.
We love Texas, Ohio State, and we love Manning. And boom, you get the highest game ever on Fox. But the other part of what I saw yesterday when those were released is TV networks have screwed us over in college football.
In what way?
They have ruined the fabric of college football.
With the advertisements and the commercials?
No. We Nebraska's in the Big Ten because of TV money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The TV has split up the fabric of what it used to be in college football. So, and nobody's complaining because the check that you get.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of that,
they ruined it. But there's a lot of money.
The check that you get, you're not going to be like, well, they screwed us. Being able to drive to Lawrence and play a game. You're getting a ton of money. But don't you think the TV networks owe us a solid?
I
owe us a solid as the consumer?
What do you want in the
solid? The TV networks for the last couple of years, and including the NFL in particularly, have continued to push the envelope to the point where it's made things more and more less convenient for the fan in terms of the viewing experience, and in terms of not just the viewing experience in your couch, but the viewing experience when you go to the stadium, with how expensive it is to buy a ticket, how expensive it is to park, how expensive it is to buy food, how expensive it is to buy beer. And yet, despite all of that, we still keep going to the games, and we still keep consuming the
football is too big to fail.
It is.
It is a drug. We are addicted in this country to the game of football. And it's one of those addictions where people are like, you know what? Well, I'm not going to tell you to stop. Well, I'm not going to put you in a program to get away from football. But this is what I mean when I say the TV networks owe us a solid. Now, I wish college football TV was like the NFL TV.
Flexing?
No, where there is no allegiance.
Sure.
Watching college football these days is like watching cable television news.
State-run
TV. If you watch Fox, You know what you're getting. If you watch CNN, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
That's what our college football has turned into. If I'm watching Fox on Saturdays, I'm getting Big Ten. If I'm going to watch ESPN, I'm getting SEC. Instead of the crossover, where in the NFL, now that they've changed it up, where CBS and Fox, CBS used to always be the AFC channel.
Yeah, there's no rules
Fox
anymore.
is the NFC. They switch now. You can see your team play on both Fox and CBS. So it forces the networks, not forces, but it's better. They talk about the whole league.
Yeah,
that's what we're missing in college football when it comes to television. But when I say do them a solid is I looked at the big, huge number of Texas and Ohio State. And I think, man, that Big Ten SEC scheduling idea is money.
Sure.
But in the next go around of the TV contracts, I hope that the TV networks say, we need to be better in our non-conference scheduling. Okay, we're going to 9 conference games because we want more inventory of good games, but
no more.
Let's get, well, there always will be Akron.
Okay.
But let's get more matchups like Texas, Ohio State early in this new TV contract. You want more money, you got to give us better games because we all win. I get 16 million people watching.
Huskers at Death Valley.
You get a big-time game, and hopefully the committee that determines who's in the playoff will take care of you. The TV network should do us a solid in the next go-around to promote better matchups and not the garbage that we sometimes get, or, in Nebraska's case, bowing out of the Tennessee series.
Well, it's funny you compare the NFL, what they have of ESPN will promote CBS games and CBS games will promote Fox games, and the fact that they don't have those competing networks like that. They have that over other pro leagues too, though. Because remember when TNT had the NBA Finals?
Yeah.
The NBA Finals wasn't getting a great rating. Why was that? Well, ESPN isn't going to promote, hey, go and watch the NBA Finals on TNT. Go over to that programming.
NBA Finals
they were never on TNT.
Or sorry, the NHL, the Stanley Cup Finals. My apologies. But like ESPN, who has the NHL all year long, right? Who is promoting their games, and that is their league, and they pay to have that league. At no point were they like, hey, go over to this television broadcast, go over to TNT and watch the NHL Finals.
Say, well, that concludes the season. Congratulations to our eventual champion.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because in the NFL,
and now here's LeBron.
The NFL, you see more networks promoting the other networks when the games are on.
Yes.
Do you see that much in college football?
No, I don't see it. I didn't see.
Which maybe to the point, it was like,
we need a neutral party.
No, it might have been earth-shattering that Fox carried Corso's pick.
Well, to me, I was kind of shocked by that because I mean, those are you have.
I think it's probably more of a Corso thing than an ESPN thing.
You have the two leading networks for college football, and they both have a pregame show, and they're both in the same spot, and they're both competing for the same exact audience, right? Where the NFL pregame shows, I don't really think the NFL Network's pregame is competing against ESPN's pregame. I don't think. No. I don't really see.
I don't even know who hosts theirs anymore.
I don't see Fox's pregame really trying to compete against ESPN's pregame. You have Sam Ponder over here. You have all the Fox guys over there. You kind of watch who you watch growing up, and that's just exactly how it is. There is the interworking network competition between any of those teams in the NFL, because the NFL is way too important of a product.
Well, and you also have the NFL is a standalone. In college football, it's broken up into conferences.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we're talking about with TV with college football is when it becomes a super league and everybody's under the same umbrella and you can negotiate those contracts and let everybody come to the table, Fox and ESPN, and divvy up the pie they want. Where the NFL is everybody's under an umbrella. Everybody benefits from the teams to the league to TV networks. I mean, that would be down the road. But I hope also down the road, college football TV says, hey, I know we had a run here where we really ripped things apart. We're gonna force those leagues to give us good matchups. So it's good for the fan. Sure. And maybe it's a win for you guys and you won't think differently about us as TV networks.
Can you imagine if each NFL division had their own TV deal? If ESPN
or AFC South,
if ESPN was the exclusive home of the NFC North, and Sam Ponder was an NFC North honk, and then the AFC West was
you are on a Sam Ponder.
Well, I know it's that time of the year. It's the only time I think about Sam Ponders when ESPN is when the NFL starts. I'm a I'm an ESPN.
What is she
pregame guy.
doing this year?
Yeah,
think
she
she's-
doesn't host that show.
Yeah,
anymore.
she got when they got rid of RG3, Sam Ponder was right there with
Yeah.
her.
What is she?
Yeah, I don't.
I think she's just being a mom and living her best life.
Yeah, people forget that her husband played quarterback for the Vikings.
Oh, I don't forget about
So the
Christian Ponder.
Christian Ponder.
I never
Yeah.
forget about Christian Ponder. We only ever beat the Vikings
Yeah,
when Christian Ponder played.
no time
I
like
thought
her.
Sam Ponder was a very good host. Now Laura Rutledge has kind of taken that role at ESPN.
But
Who also
Jeff.
does a really good job. She's good on Saturdays. People don't probably watch the SEC Network pregame show, but she does a really nice job on that show.
you talk about you brought something up early on though, talking about the MLB season ticket holders compared to the NFL season ticket holders.
Yep.
You bring up the word commitment when it comes to MLB season ticket holders going to 81 games. When I think of NFL season ticket holders, I think of it almost as like an honor. Like if you're like
What do you mean?
if you're an NFL season ticket holder, and if you're like, let's just say you're a season ticket holder for Green Bay, right? Or you're a season ticket holder for the Bears, or a season ticket holder. I bet the Chiefs
Any
have a
NFL team.
long wait list. You're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like I'm a season ticket holder. There's only 8 games I get to go to a year. I'm going to go to every single 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to every single one of them. I'm going to make sure my schedule's clear. I'm going to make sure I get there early. You don't get that with any other sport outside of college football.
Yeah.
College football is the only one. But why is that the case? Because you only have so few opportunities to go to those games.
All right, coming up on the show, Sarah Baker Hansen will stop by at 8 o'clock. Mike Kratzenstein, former Nebraska tight end, who is the executive director of the Nebraska Greats. We have a fantastic event coming up. I got to do the math here. 11, 18. In less than 3 weeks that will involve Mark Manning right here in Omaha. So Monty will be in studio at about 8:30. Steve Sipple, we think we can find Sip today. We definitely found him at Arrowhead on Thursday.
That we did.
And Brian Edwards will stop by at 9:45. That's the lineup brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. Here we go. The NFL is here. Tonight we get Philadelphia and Dallas. Did I see correctly? The line is 8.5.
Yes. 8.5
Ooh.
is the current line.
Now, that go up a point after the trade?
I don't know if it was I don't know. I think yesterday I was watching ESPN Bet and it said that the line had gone up. I don't know what it had gone up from, but it had raised. The over-under is 47.5.
And with a brand new play caller for Philadelphia.
44-3 Eagles.
Whoa. I don't
Well,
know.
that-
Apprentice and I will be in bed
I'd
by
be-
8:30.
I'd be surprised.
Beautiful night of sleep.
I don't like any of these lines. I don't like plus 8.5. I don't like plus 340.
A lot of people like the Bears plus 115.
Well, I'm just talking about the Eagles Cowboys.
Oh,
I don't
this feels like an under game. The Eagles had some guys banged up during the preseason.
see.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. 24-3.
And Dak, who knows?
I would wait a little, just because I think the total might go up a little bit, because I
Yeah.
think there are going to be a lot of people who think, oh, the Eagles have struggled with their second cornerback position in camp. They might give up a lot of yards and passing and whatnot, but people don't get that Vic Fangio runs a ton of zone coverage, and his incredibly strong back half will be okay with that. I like George Pickens over though. Whatever his
Yeah.
over is on receiving yards, I'd probably hit
That'd
that
be a
tonight.
sneaky pickup for the Cowboys. All right, we're off and running. Coming up, let's up through things we heard or saw yesterday. Plus, we'll talk about that game's going to happen Saturday night in Lincoln, Nebraska and Akron. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. Football is here. Good weekend in college football as well. Some interesting, why are they playing there type games. We'll do all of that as we roll till 10 on a Thursday. Glad to have you with Gary, Matt, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Well,
Hey,
it still is.
I told you guys, this is going to be a groundbreaking show. We play our open 39 minutes into the show after we've already done a segment.
But
nobody else is doing that.
We're just doing a bunch of things that nobody else in their right mind would do in honor of the Cowboys, and like they trading Micah Parsons. That's just the theme of the show.
You got to be careful, Jimmy, because
it's okay. I'm numb to the whole thing.
He is deflecting stuff about his team towards you.
This is going to be all season, the entire
Matt, life
season.
has beaten me down by now. I mean, you can't affect me with your Cowboys.
So this is a fair question.
Sure.
I have no dog in the the fight, the hunt, whatever you want to call it tonight. I'm just going to be a ball watcher. I'll be calling a game and watching a game at the same time.
You'll have a game. I'll watch your
my
game.
Thursdays.
There we
Yes.
go. Okay.
Yes.
I got another game to watch.
Is back on Thursday Night Football. We've waited all this time for the NFL to come back.
Yes.
I've waited for a little bit longer because my team got crushed in the Super Bowl. Okay.
Your team made the Super Bowl.
They got crushed.
Good day.
So you wait this long for 7:20 to watch Cam Jurgens play.
Yes.
Man, Monty, when he's in here at 8:30, can tell a really good story of Cam. That's one of his favorite people. Do you prefer, because it's the Cowboys, it's the drama guys that are into branding more than wins, do you prefer that the Cowboys get blown out, or do you want a close game, like one of those kickoff classics in 2004 when Mike Vanderjagt missed a field goal at the end and the Patriots beat the Colts 27-24, or do you want
classic Cowboys kicking the nuts?
Was it 13 when the Ravens won the Super Bowl but had to go on the road because the Orioles were playing at Camden Yards, and so they played in Denver, and Peyton threw for 7 touchdowns.
I did not know that.
What, 49-27? So do you prefer, you've waited this long.
Yeah.
Okay, you just want to watch two teams play. Do you prefer the Cowboys to get blown out or a close game tonight with the Cowboys and the defending Super Bowl champions?
Close game.
Okay.
I just hope your bets all hit.
Thank you, Jim. That's actually very
good
sweet
luck
of
today,
you.
guys.
That's
Super
very
Bowl,
nice.
Win some money.
Super Bowl champs, Mixed Sportsbook, 10-2 straight up, but 6-5-1 against the spread in the last 12.
Yeah, Philadelphia, they were actually only 8-6 at home against the spread last season. So it's not as necessarily Lincoln Financial Field as this incredible, home
that was
field
the vet.
advantage for the Eagles. I want a close game.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow it. I don't want a game where I'm done watching the third quarter. I've been waiting for meaningful NFL football for so long. I was literally watching all of these NFL preseason games with all these second and third string starters because I wanted to get my fix.
Ball knower.
Yeah.
Yes. Also,
you're betting on the Hall of Fame game. I wouldn't expect anything else.
This is, and a couple others.
I was rooting for you.
This is, though, kind of a generational gap in a way, because you bring up the Cowboys and hating the Cowboys and the drama boys and whatnot. I don't really.
They're just more into branding than they are wins. I don't hate the Cowboys anymore. Scary. The NFL's kind of moved on, and the Cowboys haven't been good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike the Cowboys. I'm not one of those people where I don't like America's team,
now.
and they've never been the big bad wolf to me. They've never been this like overarching threat. They've always been, honestly, they've been the team I feel bad for the most, because they actually produce pretty good rosters year in and year out and have had more exciting players than most teams that I can remember.
Still like their offense.
And their offensive line, Tyler Booker was one hell of a pick in the draft. I think that they're going to have a pretty average, above average offensive
they got
line.
Jake Ferguson, a tight end, whose dad is from Shadron.
They have pretty great wide receivers. Jalen Tolbert is no longer your wide receiver too, so congratulations to you. They still have an awful running back
Tony
room.
Tolbert.
Yeah.
But Jaden Blue from Texas was a very underrated, very overlooked running back.
I like their offense. I don't know that they can stop the run.
Well,
but what I'm looking forward to tonight is when they can't stop the run and Barkley goes for a few, the cutaways to Jerry.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of those. Every time that the Dallas defense can't get off the field or gives up a big play or a score, they won't show Jalen. They'll show Jerry.
I think that the Eagles are going to be incredible in the first 8 weeks of the season. And then
I hope they're terrible week 2.
I think in the back half.
I hope they're awful.
They play.
I hope they get food poisoning.
You guys
there you go. You sound like me.
Philadelphia, Kansas City at Arrowhead week 2.
They're stacking up the early season slate.
It's the NFL, man. College football could take a lesson from scheduling.
Well,
even though they have no control over it.
We will get to the point though in like
Chiefs
week 8 through week 11 in the NFL where you're really like gripping onto like a Bengals Houston Texans game. And you're like,
now that actually would be a good game. That's probably maybe two divisional leaders.
See, but
you're looking at more like we're going to get stuck with a bunch of NFC South games.
Titans, Jags.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm talking like if the best game on your slate is like the 4th best team and the 5th best team in the AFC. Right.
But it never is.
Yeah, they've watered down.
The
Sunday.
NFL is really, really smart. They know because they listen to you. They're like, no. We can't have the best game being the 4th or 5th team in the AFC. So, Jimmy, with all your happiness that you spread daily,
absolutely.
Close game
just
or blowout?
Like crop dusting.
Close game or blowout?
Hey, speaking of crop dusting, it'll be a blowout.
Okay. I don't think it will be. I think if I had to pick a side, I would pick 8.5. All right. It's week 1. It's weird.
Yeah. It'll be on the zone tonight. I don't know why we don't carry all 272 games, but we're going to carry a couple this weekend. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to hear the Cowboys and the Eagles tonight
I'll
right
listen
here on the
this
zone.
afternoon. Maybe Josh can talk me into any kind of hope.
I don't think Josh is going to talk.
I actually think Josh thinks the world's going to end before you do in your Cowboy fandom. So he has you beat, which is
they lost.
Probably not easy to do.
You know what? Then that tells me everything I need to know because Josh was my only source of optimism to be like, you know what? He's right. Maybe I am too hard on them, but now.
Hey, the optimism is the Eagles are not my survivor pick. So
you'll make it a little further this year.
By the way, I went with Denver.
You went with Denver against?
Yeah, because I'm worried that New Orleans, who I think will be the team that gets the number 1 pick in next year's NFL draft, will somehow find a way on the 20th anniversary of Katrina, and there'll be a lot of emotion, and something weird will happen in that game, and they'll upset Arizona, and I will hate survivor pools forever. So I think Denver's a good safe pick against Cam Ward.
They are an 8.5-point favorite.
I just need them. I just need them to win. They could win by a last-second field goal.
3-2.
I just need them to win.
6-4.
I'm going with the Commanders. So that will be my survivor pool pick. They play the New York Giants.
Rise up, defensive rookie of the year, Abdul Carter for the Giants.
Oh, I like that pick. I'm a big fan of that pick. I'd probably go defense. I'd probably pick him too to be defensive rookie of the year.
All right, coming up a little bit later, Sarah Baker Hansen stops by. Monty Kratzenstein, the pride of Gothenburg, former Nebraska tight end, executive director of the Nebraska Greats. Huge event coming up here in Omaha in a couple of weeks with Mark Manning and the Nebraska wrestling team that you can be involved in. He'll stop in studio here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then Steve Sipple and Brian Edwards. All right. Yesterday, middle of the day, I'm off, so it doesn't feel like Thursday, but it is Thursday.
It is.
If you didn't know. Top 3 things you saw or heard on a Wednesday.
Send me to the Netherlands. Okay.
Excuse me.
There are in the Netherlands.
Is that a new promotion we
have? They are in the southern Dutch city of Tilburg. Okay. They are having this week their Redhead Festival. Thousands.
Hell yes, I'm with you. Okay, Matt.
Thousands of redheads of all, male, female, old, young, coming together in the southern city of Netherlands. Send me there immediately. It sounds like an incredible event and a great place to meet people. So that's one of the best things that I saw. I think I'll be taking a one-way ticket there. It sounds like an incredible event. My type of event, if you know what I mean.
And this is why I remembered why I like you.
Second best thing.
Hey, I wish you well.
The second best thing that I saw was this morning when I got up at 4:00. The country of Ireland is having a new candidate run for president. Have you seen this?
A redhead?
No, not a redhead.
There.
I've been a little preoccupied. I've not stayed up with Ireland politics. They did not touch on that during the Bublin and Dublin Farmageddon.
Conor McGregor is trying to become the next president of Ireland.
Of course he is.
And he released his first campaign video today, asking for everyone to call their local, what would be equivalent to their congresspersons in Ireland, to make him a nominee. And it's just Conor McGregor standing in front of what I think is the capital of Ireland, the capital city of Ireland, telling everybody that he wants to run for president.
He's got my vote.
No, that'd be a terrible idea. That guy, by the way, ever since he lost to Dustin Poirier, has just been an absolute just snowball downhill of will he, won't he, and has just completely ruined his legacy in a lot
like
of different
Kobayashi
ways.
did.
So yeah, so now he's running for president. He's not going to win. The third best thing that I saw, Tulane, who it was a joke that they weren't able to wear their jerseys that they wore on right after Katrina. They wanted to wear them on the 20th anniversary when they faced the Northwestern Wildcats. The Wildcats, for a reason that still has not been explained,
our cats
denied them the opportunity to do that, which is a hunk of what.
Why do you keep embarrassing the Big Ten?
It's so embarrassing that they did that. It was an absolute joke.
What you do for a scandal?
But Tulane went ahead yesterday, and they are releasing those jerseys, and you can go ahead, and if you want to, you can buy those jerseys.
It's a money grab.
And it goes into their NIL fund. So that was one of the best things that I saw. They're sick jerseys. They're absolutely awesome. I think it'd be really cool if people bought them, because it's a hunk of crap that Northwestern didn't let them wear those jerseys. And they still haven't. David Braun made a whole statement that he talked to the head coach of Tulane and whatnot. He still didn't explain why they told them that they couldn't wear those jerseys.
They did on Saturday.
Okay.
So the request came in on the 17th of August, and Northwestern said it was too late. They'd been practicing against a certain color.
What if you're colorblind?
Hey, yeah. Preston Stone, maybe he was colorblind. He threw 4 picks. It's going to be a fun year for you. You got the Leathernecks tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Go!
Cats.
State of Illinois.
Someone in the state of Illinois will win a football game.
The land of Lincoln. Let's go.
Well, the Leathernecks lost by like 47 to the guys in the land.
They still playing at Tiny Baby Stadium?
They are still playing at Tiny Baby Stadium.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in Macomb. I miss Macomb. Macomb, Western Illinois not being in the summit. Oh, I miss those trips to Macomb.
No, you don't. Wow. Yeah, we get the Leathernecks.
Farm King next to Hy-Vee.
Do you remember when I told you that?
And the front page story, they were opening up a Pinkelman's.
Ooh.
A Pickleman's?
Yes.
That's a big deal.
And that was like on the front page of the paper in Macomb. And I'm like, I wonder why I don't live here.
Don't they should have like 8 Potbellies in Macomb, Illinois.
Oh,
it seems like in every small town they have a bunch of Potbellies.
The restaurant.
They have one hotel. Everybody that plays Western Illinois stays in the same hotel. And if you're a recruit, they put you on one side of the hotel because one side looks at the Hy-Vee. The other side looks at this vacant field that has a bunch of mobile homes.
How was the continental breakfast in Macomb, Illinois?
Decent.
Were they cracking eggs or were they using the powder?
Nope.
Ooh.
Nope.
Like
they were just out there. All right. The top 3 things I saw or heard yesterday. This kind of sucks for everybody, especially with the NFL starting. If you've ever been on Stream East.
Yes.
Oh, I heard about that.
So it got shut down.
Nick Grimm.
1.6 billion visits last year. It is the go-to for illegal, most people.
Crack streams.
For illegal streams of sports events. And I don't know what our government is doing. They've got other things to worry about. Leave us alone. But the largest sports piracy site has been shut down by the police. So sad.
Law and Order. Really.
Okay, so sticking with Law and Order, because I like Law and Order.
Good show.
I like my. You know what? I get
early
confused.
Days?
Law and Order 9/11. There's just
there's
there's so many spin-offs. Now I got
the go.
Now I got a Yellowstone spin-off that apparently there are cameos. I'm confused.
Can we just eliminate spin-offs? I think I'm done with spin-offs.
No.
I think
we wouldn't have Frasier.
Well, unless
then you're done with a lot of things. But this has become a thing. I've never been like in a police chase where they're chasing me. I probably will not do that.
You've been in an escape patrol car this year, though.
I have been. I was kind of in a police chase when I was 20 in Lincoln, but I wasn't driving.
Okay, but you were in the car?
I'm here for this.
We had. That's where I got my MIP.
Oh,
Lord.
Yeah.
You told
But
the story, yes.
the Lancaster County Attorney's Office went after Jeff, who was driving, and they dropped all the MIPs against us.
Rest in peace to homie the pig.
But I saved the letter.
Jeff, what a champion.
So we had like a 2-block chase because he's like,
come on.
What are they going to do? They got beer. Yeah, but it was a 2-block chase down an alley.
Oh,
yeah.
With the Knight Rider music blaring on the stereo.
Learn then that if you do that to a cop, they're not going to be very happy when they get out of the car. Okay?
They got to walk over all the rocks to get to your car.
Twist an ankle.
Oh, I don't think they walked. I think they sprinted. I was like, hello, officer. I didn't even got like a breathalyzer or anything. Like they like looked at my license. I looked at the beer in the car.
I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
Here's what the thing: we didn't even have an open container. We just had gone to, to get like 6 cases of beer.
Mm-hmm. They didn't beer shame y'all, did you?
No, they took it.
Oh, well, that's worse.
Except for the ones that were in the trunk. Okay, that long time ago.
There's a
statute of
lesson.
limitations long gone.
Trunk?
Okay,
how bad are they at searching?
Well, they got to have a warrant.
I don't know.
Not after a police
Well, actually,
chase.
I think what happened is, if I remember, they got called away to something, so they kind of sped up.
Oh,
but they all wrote us tickets, and then they boop, and they took our beer.
Damn. Well, except for the ones in the trunk.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Jeff eventually ended up in the Cornhusker, whatever, the detox place. So I'm sure he got to, look at his own beer. That was like 2 months later. So this is a thing that popped up on the news yesterday, but it's been something that's been used. So terminating pursuits, we never want a pursuit because you got dangerous situations on the road. You don't want to put anybody in harm. There's a thing called the grappler that is out there. So it's a tool that is straight out of the Batman comic. It has been used. There are a lot of places a lot of police forces that are using this, but in Las Vegas, it made TV yesterday. So it's attached to the police car and extends a net that gets caught up in the vehicle's tire.
Yeah.
And then once it gets caught up, it's like a tow strap and the vehicle can't get away. So maybe it'll pull the bumper off or something. But like in Michigan, they yanked the axle out of a vehicle.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was such a dope video.
Yeah. You know that unit only cost $5,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen, there's actually been an increased amount of guys and gals getting away from chases that I've seen online. Apparently, these people getting police chases are becoming a lot smarter. They get under like ramps.
Is this why you were watching OJ last
week? And they
hop
out of the car. If I'm being honest with you, my algorithm has been a lot of Tom Hanks movies and police chases.
Just spend any time in Los Angeles and you flip on the television, or you're outside and you see the helicopters that are following, and they're not necessarily police helicopters.
No,
they are news helicopters.
Yeah,
that's a daily thing in LA. They you'd be disappointed if you did a newscast and you weren't able to show a chase.
What a bunch of narcs.
They get sponsored now.
Those news, those
what do you mean
news
narcs?
channels. They're exposing. These are fun. These are fun chases, and they're exposing them.
There's a guy, the helicopter pilot on ABC in LA. I imagine he's like a deputy or something, because he's like, this is where the guy is. Oh, I can see him, and now he's running. And
the breakdowns are incredible.
They help the police. And then the last thing is, who knows if I won the Powerball last night?
Whoa.
It'd be pretty quick. No, it'd be pretty quick. You don't want to let on, because then people are like, hey, you remember that $5 I lent you in school to go to lunch?
Gary, Troy Gannon on line one.
Don't know. I could have won the Powerball.
I think if you won the Powerball, you wouldn't be here right now.
No, I would come in because I don't want people to know that I did. But
that's true. You gotta throw them off.
Didn't you say a week ago that you would completely go off the grid and we would not?
But
know?
I wouldn't. But
it can't be instant.
But then if I just went off the grid, then it wouldn't be the first day, because I don't want to get you onto something.
Honestly, Houston Christian week would be the perfect week to just dip.
Yes. But I hate to break it, everybody. The Powerball was not won. So coming up on Saturday night, there's been no winner. Third largest jackpot, $1.7 billion.
That's ridiculous.
Hey,
I'd be buying me a luxury suite.
What if somebody that is connected to Akron athletics won that? They could save Akron football, who has a minimal NIL funds.
But not in time for Saturday.
That
everybody needs a billionaire with their football program, right? Everybody needs a Phil Knight.
That classic meme of,
I
wouldn't tell anyone if I won the lottery, but there would be signs. Wouldn't that be the ultimate sign if the Zip started getting a bunch of NIL money that one of their fans?
Every program needs a billionaire.
Yeah, or a couple. The more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Or like $100 million.
When we come back, we'll chat about Nebraska Akron, because week 1 to week 2 is different. Hashtag football knower. There's Matt. There's Jimmy. I'm Gary. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back in hour number 2 on a Thursday. I haven't seen anything, and it sparks this because Tom wrote about it this morning in the OWH. They doing a 30-year anniversary of the 95 season?
I thought it was for Michigan.
Is it for Michigan?
Yeah.
Did I miss an email? I might have been out.
Yeah, it's Michigan.
I missed a lot of emails when I was out, apparently.
The Michigan versus Nebraska game, I
so
believe
that's the celebration of the 30-year anniversary of the 95 team?
Yes.
They're going to even run the playbook.
I hope they do it a lot better than they did the 25th anniversary. It felt like it was very muted for one of, if not the greatest team in the history of college football. So I'm glad they're doing that. Just adds a little bit to the Nebraska-Michigan game, huh? Oh, it's not?
I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried, honestly, that you're going to have the greatest college football team of all time in the building.
Oh, so it definitely is the Michigan game.
Yes. It's happening. It's happening.
Hey,
so it's
what's wrong with that?
No. I want those guys. Now, I think, you gotta be honest. Nobody that's playing for Nebraska was born when that 95 team was kicking ass.
Yes.
But
they'd be very old.
But I think if you're around the facility and you study a little bit, there's names that will live forever. Yeah, I wouldn't want those guys. I wouldn't mind those guys being in your face.
I'm just a little...
Some of them are still like involved, like from Damon to other guys that are still around the program.
What I'm saying,
a little pep talk from the guys.
Well, it's like Miami. Hey, so the plethora of former players that are on the field at Miami, including Sunday night when they beat Notre Dame, those guys get in the face of players. Like they don't have bad breath. Like guys that Michael Irvin is getting in the face of wide receivers, like telling them this is the standard. I don't have a problem with that.
My only problem, my problem is facetious and tongue in cheek. I have zero problem with any sort of reunions. I think it's great that they come.
Yeah.
I'm just nervous that they're going to come. The greatest team of all time is going to be there. They're going to watch it, and then Nebraska's going to get their butts whooped.
And then Sharon Moore's Michigan.
It's going to be really embarrassing. And it's like, damn, you had this great
opportunity. Do you think they're not ready? This current team is not ready for that big stage.
It just seems like you're destined to add this awesome caveat of honoring this team, and then Nebraska's just destined to get embarrassed because that team is there.
25 years ago, I think they won the 97 celebration. I believe Nebraska lost.
I just
hope a lot of guys come back.
I want to for sure.
A lot of them still live in the area, but I hope some guys that you haven't seen for a while make it back. But thank you for telling me that it is the Michigan game.
I'm almost.
It's 30 years.
I'm almost positive. I'm trying to find.
Yeah, because that's why you wanted a night game.
I want to find the actual release.
Okay. I got so many. There's so many things that have been sent out by Nebraska about what you can and can't do on Saturday night.
I'm very confident that it is. They are honoring them in that game. But
there's more stuff you can do on Saturday night than can't.
You can cheer and drink beer.
Well, okay. So this leads me to this question. So we're past Cincinnati, and
yes,
I said yesterday again. Had a lot of fun with the guys that are loyal listeners of the show from Common Fan, TJ, Maddie, and Geoff. You got past week 1, and we were talking about how long will we reference Cincinnati?
Yes.
Well, it's probably, and I said, if we are still referencing Cincinnati outside of winning a 1-score game, when you're going to Minnesota, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So it has to be first game. We overreact to the first game. And honestly, we don't know. Because of the way college football is set up now with the rosters and stuff, we don't know in week 1. Okay. We don't know going in. We think we do. And then we don't know even post week 1. This is where, all right, here we go. Week number 2. Because the next 2 weeks are pretty important for Nebraska. I might be on a lonely island, but they're important for Nebraska.
You're totally right.
So if we don't reference Cincinnati in the middle of October, I think that is a good thing. But there's been a lot of fretting this week, and there's also been, I see something. I mean, there's things that are fixable. I've said that they had some mistakes. They won a football game, but they have things that can be fixed. And now we're gearing up for Saturday night. It's a night game in Lincoln.
Yes.
There's a lot of optimism. There's the light show. There's the Killigan song. There's Maddie and Tay and Happer all together, which is wild.
Who's Maddie and Tay?
They're the country artists that are going to be at the pregame tailgate with Happer.
Never heard of him.
Now there's going to be other people there besides Happer, but you can go and see Happer.
I know Connor Happer.
So it's the first game. The weather's going to be great. It's a night game. People are going to be fired up. It's going to be hoodie and shorts weather for the first game of the year. Do not wear the tube tops, ladies. Well, put something on. It's going to be cold. It's going to be chilly.
You just made Matt sad. You just bursted his balloon.
Hey, it's about football. It's about football. The visual should be on the field. The visual right there between the lines.
Matt wants them to take pride in that tank top that they spent and said, first game, I want to wear that tank
words
top.
In my mouth. I'm not going to tell a woman what to wear.
Okay.
You should.
So then you're playing a team, which Nebraska is a 5-touchdown favorite.
They didn't get to play them 5 years ago.
They did not. Well, no, 7 years ago.
Oh, damn, that's true.
I mean, that's been a long time.
A lot of teams 5 years ago.
I've gone through 2 athletic directors, chancellor, president, football coach. Is Saturday night should be one of those nights, because also, what is it? The first time, and this stat is a little bit wonky because of you could parse through the stat. I think this is the first time in maybe 25 or 26 years that Nebraska will be playing a home game 1-0.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Really?
Now it's a
that's not a nugget. That's a chicken string.
I mean, it's like a weird stat. Like we'll be starting the year, their first home game, they're 1-0.
Wow.
I don't know. I heard it might have been a severe stat. I heard it on Big Red Wrap Up. I think I got the stat.
I first can confirm, by the way, for sure. Email sent out. Michigan.
Good.
30th year anniversary, 1995 team.
Go.
Secondly, I will go. I need to find.
They should bring the 97 team back for the Michigan game.
Little scrimmage.
Secondly, so were they at the Michigan? So was the 97 team at the Michigan game in September 2 years ago where they got their ass whooped? I'm pretty sure, right?
No, I don't think it was Michigan.
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, right. No. That game. No.
Because that's what I'm talking about. I'm just. I think it's great that they're coming back. I'm just nervous that is going to be like.
No. Don't be
out
nervous.
Of all the games you get whooped, it's the one where the 95 team shows up.
This isn't even the same Michigan team.
I'm trying to find out, when was the last time Nebraska was a 35-point favorite? Was it Georgia Southern?
What were they against UTEP last year?
Pretty close.
Yeah. But here's what I'm getting at. So every people are starting to get a little buzz going. I mean, here in Omaha, we're a little bit away from it, but I'm sure in Lincoln there's a lot of hype because you drive by the stadium nearly every day. Saturday night actually should be fun. Yes. Like it really should be a fun
should always
night.
Be fun.
No, but this is where I'm getting with this question. Can Nebraska football be fun?
Yes. Nebraska football can be fun this year. Nebraska football has the makings of, they have a 5-star quarterback. They have a slippery and at times dynamic running back.
Yeah.
They have Ja'Cory Barney, who is a guy who can hit his head on the goalpost. And then you have
I keep going back to this about Barney. Nebraska caught a huge break that Ja'Cory Barney is walking.
Yeah.
If you slow the play down, the man got bent in half. Now, I think it affected him the rest of the game because there's one play where he just falls down.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
my exact words were F word.
But I think Nebraska caught a huge break that Barney did not break or tear something, unlike Bonner a little bit later in the game.
Well, I've never heard a visceral reaction like that in the press box before. I mean, you were right next to each other.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who just go, oof. Now, that's interesting. I didn't really think that he got knocked over because he got hit earlier in the game. I think I thought he got touched though. Did he just fall down? It looked like he got touched. Barely.
Holgerson the other day was being nice. Nebraska had a couple guys just fall down.
Looked like Sam Greasel.
Like seriously, if Cincinnati's going, man, this might be our night. They had guys that could have gone for a long way who fell down. Either they were involved in the play or they were going to block downfield.
They also had they had too many plays where they clearly had a lane open in the offensive line or a lane open in the alley, and they just straight up didn't take it. I totally rewatched the game. Totally understand why Hogo is upset that they didn't get more explosive plays. You don't like it when I call him Hogo. Why? Everybody else calls him Hogo.
I couldn't call him.
Let's call him Dana.
I'll call him Hogo.
Does his chain say Hogo?
That'd be a great chain for him to have. Can you imagine Dana walking around with a big H? like a cursive H.
He has a chain.
Mm-hmm.
But like a big chain.
No, he has a big chain.
Yes, he has many chains.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that looks like he could wear chains.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like
Joe Tess.
Joe Tess had a gold chain on the other night.
Well, I mean, the head football coach of
pulled it off.
Nebraska wears a chain on the outside regularly.
Yeah, I'm not a gold person, man. I like that silver. I'm a platinum silver.
Nice,
yeah.
He's just, I mean,
I don't know the gold chain. Yeah,
I
I think Rule is giving off his East Coast vibes wearing that chain. Throw a little chest hair that comes out through the chain.
Hey, he's spelt.
He's giving a Jersey Shore vibe for you.
He is.
Do you not like the Jersey Shore vibe he's giving?
I don't know. I mean, I don't drive by Lenoma and see somebody. I mean, he's one of us, right?
You've never been to Staten Island and you go, no, that guy can be the next head coach of the Huskers.
Is that Rule in the velour tracksuit?
I weirdly have been to Staten Island one time.
I don't think that's weird at all. You seem like one of the most well-traveled people I know.
Yeah, but not Staten Island. I'll hang out.
You've been to Macomb? I mean, Staten Island can't be that.
Say you've went to Macomb, Illinois, more than Staten Island. You're telling us that ain't weird? I haven't even. You know more Illinois cities than I do.
There's probably. Well, you got Charleston, home of Eastern Illinois.
I haven't been to any of those. You've been to Carbondale, Charleston,
shout out
Macomb.
Peoria.
You've been to Champaign.
Live in the Summit League, and you get to see America. Staten Island wasn't for me. I'm more of a Long Island guy.
Okay,
Strong Island.
Well, that's one hell of a drink. Tiger Tom's makes a great Long Island.
But back to the point. So the atmosphere on Saturday night should be great. Should be fantastic. Okay? Man, when that Hail Varsity hits and the band takes the field, and they got that weird mascot out there, but they have a little red, which is
you being on the little red train as opposed to the Herbie Husker train is completely
opposite
costume. From everybody.
How long was I gone?
I know. Hey,
I know.
Just go back to the Herbie that you're going to be drinking out of. Okay. When you get Cornhusker Crusher, when you're drinking out of it, look at that Herbie. That's the Herbie that should be on the field, not that weird looking thing that's got the weird face and the eyes.
I hear it's good, by the way.
But the atmosphere Saturday night should be great. It should be a party. Like it should be a party atmosphere. So it's on the football team, right? To make the night fun.
Live animals.
So it should be a stress-free night that it's all about fun. Big Red overreaction. You probably won't break the all-time record of the quickest show of 42 and a half minutes.
You had reasons for that.
Yeah, the Cubs were playing and two Cubs guys were doing the show.
That's incredible.
But you should have an easy breezy,
Beautiful
have fun.
Girl.
Yeah.
Big Red overreaction.
Mm-hmm. In a tank top.
So shouldn't and can Saturday night and Nebraska football be fun?
The highlight of
Colorado was fun last year.
Of my Husker football life was the 2021 Northwestern game.
Why?
Soak that in.
Because he had Yant in his fantasy.
I know. That's what
fantasy.
I mean, I was at that
football
game. I didn't come away like, that was SC Texas all over.
But that was, you got to listen. That was like the first moment I had ever seen Nebraska have fun, have a good
that's
time.
True. 56-7 is fun.
You used to see that all the time.
That was a euphoric moment for a lot of kids who are my age to see Nebraska play a Big Ten team, beat them 56-7, score touchdowns every other drive, just absolutely dominate, get turnovers, get interceptions, get fumbles, get touchdowns.
It was extra good.
It was so, and I was on the sideline for that game. I was lucky enough to be working for Fox on the sideline watching that game. Like that, and I remember reading a Dirk Chatlin article, and
Mr.
and Dirk was good. Like, he wrote a beautiful article about, hey, whether it be Scott Frost or whether they be another coach coming, this is what it should look like. This is what Nebraska football used to be. This is the emotion of it.
I remember
and, and
that's
so
good.
It was like, I'll never forget that article, never forget that game. And Nebraska football hasn't had too many games like that since then.
That is true. Like the Northern Iowa game last year was a little bit consternation. And the UTEP game was enjoyable. The Colorado game was really enjoyable. What about that second half?
And it was, that was another thing too. That fourth quarter of that Colorado game, everybody walked to Sandy's afterwards, but it wasn't the most enjoyable walk to Sandy's.
Now, these are all wins. I mean, the Wisconsin game was fun.
Sure. That's great.
But I'm talking kind of along your lines, and this is the opener last year, is you have a much inferior opponent. I'm not I'm not going to build it up and go, hey, anything can happen on any given Saturday. That happens on this Saturday.
Oof.
Yeah. This should be one of those ass kickings.
It should,
where you have fun. Like, lots of people play. Lots of people have a good time. There's a lot of fireworks that go off. And it's one of those nights where, okay, what are those guys on the radio going to talk about next week? Because it looks like they looked really, really good. I actually would enjoy that next week instead of going, well, defensive line. Because I'm telling you, I did it so you all wouldn't have to. I watched Akron, Wyoming.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Bad. Tough watch.
The process at Akron this year is going to be a little bit slow with all the new players they have.
If you were an Akron fan, would the only way to get through the games is to have like a bingo drinking game? Is that how
definitely
bad they
some
are?
sort of substance?
The only way, if I'm an Akron fan, to get through their football games is to go, hey, we're a day closer to John Gross coming out with his basketball team.
The only way if I'm a Akron football fan to get through the season is if my son is on the team. No, not shrooms.
I mean,
well, if your son's on the team, you're scouting.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, just hey, Johnny, play well enough that we can get you out of there.
Play well enough so Bowling Green is knocking on the door. Hey, real quick,
Ohio.
So the spread is 35.5. I went on OddsShark. I found this. This is the biggest spread since. Can you guess? Can you get
in a Nebraska game?
In a Nebraska game, the biggest they've been.
So
they've been favored.
It's more than UTEP.
It's more than UTEP.
What was UTEP?
UTEP
30
last year was 27.5.
Okay.
How about Bethune-Cookman, Alex?
No, not Bethune.
By the way, good call, because Bethune-Cookman is part of a trivia question.
Oh, what trivia question?
When Nebraska and Akron got in 2018, who did Nebraska schedule to fill the slot?
951-1620, win nothing.
You would make a great. We should do that for a crossover, some like different type of show, like a Gary Sharp based Nebraska trivia game.
We did
Gary's
long
Nuggets.
before you were thought of.
Damn it!
It was. People are gonna have to remind me. It was on Sports Day Mid America.
So literally before you were thought of.
We gave out.
Literally, I wasn't.
We gave out gift cards.
That's awesome.
It was Bishop, Rose, me. And I think John Baylor.
Wait, this was back in KLIN days?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I literally.
It was the network talk show.
Good Lord.
Was it the Phillips 66 something? We gave away gift cards.
Well,
we done it.
You can do it again now.
I know we could.
30 years
but
ago.
Nebraska went and got Bethune-Cookman, played him the end of October.
Life happens between empty and full.
Okay. Can you guess?
By the way, Bethune-Cookman came along at the right time.
They needed it.
In 2018. Well, he's starting to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Got him ready for Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the replacement game for Akron in 18.
This is the biggest spread since Fordham in 2021.
Okay.
Fordham
they played Fordham.
42-point underdog. The Fordham University Rams were.
Alma mater of Mike Breen.
Nebraska won that game.
Also the president.
52-7. The over hit and they covered the spread.
My brief recollection of that game is that Fordham had a linebacker that had 21 tackles.
Jesus. Is he in the NFL now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I think he's probably running a company.
Mm-hmm. Very smart.
Probably. My sister goes to Fordham now. So that would have been a really cool
people that were here were very overwhelmed by the hospitality and the amount of people that were going to the football game. I would have thought now that they were Cincinnati people.
Can you guess?
Still not prepared for Nebraska to fill the stadium, which is absolutely bonkers.
Can you guess what Nebraska?
The lower bowl?
Can you guess what Nebraska was against the spread last season?
Probably not very good. Actually, no. I think they were pretty good.
They were really damn good against. They were 7-4-2 against the spread last year. I had no clue. And actually, against the spread as favorites, they were really good. 5 of their 7 wins against the spread came as favorites. Really? That's interesting. Now,
they did go 7-6, Matty.
Now they did. Now, funny enough,
went to a bowl.
They lost a game. They're 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 2 losses where they were more than a touchdown favorite last season.
Well, that's the problem.
They were a 9.5-point favorite against Illinois.
And people went, that is stinky.
They didn't cover.
No, they didn't cover it all. The overhit in that game, though. The overhit massively.
Yes, it did. It did. Imagine if the overtime would have gone on for a while. Okay, we got to take a break. But it should be fun.
You got that. You're still annoyed about that overtime, which is great.
The guy that gets paid a lot of money to be the play caller for Nebraska was not prepared at all in overtime. They put a sitting duck out there at quarterback. They were not prepared at all in overtime. No plays. No, hey, these are the 3 plays we're going to run at the beginning of overtime. Not even a chance. What was it? 3rd and
forever.
A lot.
3rd and Dodge Street?
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
3rd and Vine.
Yeah. 3rd and Lus Hills.
3rd and 27.
But that was last year. This is this year.
3rd and Lus Hills. Was I not to put a wrench in everything? I know we're going to break, but if Raiola makes that pass to Lindenmeyer in the end zone, Nebraska wins 9 games in the regular season last year.
If that happens, they would have closed down O Street.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God.
Nebraska would have been 4-0. It's a Friday night. It was a great atmosphere. Yeah.
Town would burn.
They went into that game ranked too. They went into the week, but actually, I didn't know this until I rewatched the game a couple of weeks ago. They went into the Northern Iowa game ranked.
Well, you know what? They didn't deserve to win that game. They got outplayed. They got outcoached.
They got out special teamed.
Hurt.
All right. This conversation started. Can Nebraska be fun? And you brought up that game. That was not fun.
He also brought up 6 other games, and where they won, they scored 50 points.
Yeah, Fordham game.
The 1 second expired on the clock. Damn Big 12 refs.
Fordham game. That was. I think I also had a beer or 2 in the rail yard that day.
Didn't we all?
Many do.
I don't know.
Beer's going to be flowing in the rail yard. Some people are going to find out what Tanks is in the rail yard this weekend. Have fun.
What is it?
Tanks, the country bar.
Oh,
talking about Tanks.
Hell of a bar. Like,
Matt McMaster here for Tanks.
Can a country bar be a good pregame spot?
Well, there's where Longwell's used
to be.
A
mechanical bull?
Where Longwell's used to be is now Tanks Corner. And then
have a
right
real bull.
next to Tanks Corner is Tanks. So now, as opposed to having just one bar there, you have 2 bars there.
So they have Tanks and Tanks Corner?
And Tanks Corner,
Yeah.
which is
kind of
just
confusing.
old Longwell's.
But not Tank Dell.
No, not Tank Dell. Well, Tank Dell is Ja'Cory Barney Jr.
Or is... I'm not going to do your math.
We're just 2 days away from being 2 days away from being 3 years away of Tank Dell.
We're back with more of Gary and Matt with Jimmy after this in 1620 The Zone.
Football is back, if you haven't guessed by now, because we're talking about it. And Underdog's the best place to make picks and win money all season long, and you can play right now in Nebraska. And it's easy. Even I can do it. Just pick whether your favorite players to go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And if you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Well, as the guys have told me, the Cowboys play tonight, so I'm picking them to do less stuff because that's what they do. They're just less, the whole team. So I also think Saquon Barkley will do good things because he's good. He plays for a good team. He plays for a championship team. That championship team is not the Dallas Cowboys. Download the app today and sign up with promo code ZONE to score $50 in bonus funds. When you play your first $5, that's promo code ZONE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html. Got all that for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
All right, NFL kicks off tonight, Philadelphia and Dallas, the defending Super Bowl champions against the Cowboys. And then on Sunday, we will watch, well, some of us will, the Red Zone, which now 7 hours
Last great year
with commercials.
Yeah.
It was announced yesterday by Scott Hansen.
So I got a quick question because I have to look here on my YouTube TV apparatus. But I have YouTube TV. Okay.
Congratulations.
And
Smart move.
Yeah. And with YouTube TV, you have a base package. Okay. You just pay a very just simple, hey, this is your cable. You get Sports Center, you get TNT, you get ESPN2. You get the kind of basic what you would get on cable. Now, you can pay extra. Okay. And I want to make sure I got to go to my settings here. I'm sorry. I should have done this before. But you pay an extra monthly fee to get as many more sports packages as you possibly can. Okay. So I'm paying extra in part because my extra package gets me Red Zone. That's why I paid for YouTube TV. I paid extra for YouTube TV so I can make sure that I can get that Red Zone channel. And part of the reason you pay extra to get Red Zone and you pay that extra package is because you get commercial-free football, right? That is the allure of it. If Red Zone now, if I'm paying, so I'm pretty sure I'm paying an extra $13 a month here to get these packages. Now I paid $13 extra to get the NFL Red Zone that didn't have commercials. I didn't pay $13 a month to get the NFL.
I don't think there's an option to have not commercials.
You will watch.
I mean, the magic of Red Zone is 7 hours of uninterrupted football, but I don't think there's an option of commercial or no commercial.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's BS that I now pay. They
give people the old okie doke because it wasn't announced until yesterday.
I paid $10.99 extra a month, which means that I pay $120 extra a year to get what they call the NFL Red Zone with Sports Plus package. So the package I purchased on YouTube TV has the name NFL Red Zone in it. And now they have completely changed the structure.
But it doesn't say that it's commercial free anymore.
No. Okay. But I'm saying that they've changed the rules now, right? In a way, right? I'm paying $11 for a Red Zone package that no longer exists because the Red Zone that I was paying for, $11 a month, is now has commercials. That's a hunk of crap. That's an absolute hunk of crap.
Well, welcome to the world.
I now have to pay the same price for the same exact for a completely different product.
Yeah,
it gets worse.
So I think the story here is how long we've gone with Red Zone without commercials.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, this is the NFL loves money, and the NFL controls Red Zone. Next year it's ESPN, but the NFL will still run Red Zone. So ESPN was getting dunked on yesterday, and unfairly, because they have nothing to do with it. It's the NFL, and the NFL is greedy, and they know, hey,
you're still going to watch.
I mean, they'll squeeze everything. But the fact that we have made it this long and there has never been commercials is quite the accomplishment. Now, what will those commercials look like? Is it going to be screen and screen, which they've done before? Like we've seen, we're used to that now. They're not going to cut to a commercial break so that Scott can go to the bathroom. I mean, it's got to be screen and screen.
It's got to be picture in picture.
There's a catheter.
Yeah.
Now, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I said, maybe they could go and retroactively be, they can do their research and be like, hey, the least amount of action happens in 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. So that's when we'll do a
great point. I think they probably have already done this.
Yeah.
Like once we hit the witching hour, there's no commercials.
No, God no.
But like middle of the second quarter,
middle of the third quarter, like maybe even beginning of the 13 minutes ago in the third quarter. Like I think they're gonna maybe toward the end if hey, we have a lot of teams right now that are starting, because that happens. Hey guys, we have a lot of teams right now that are starting drives, right? Let's go ahead, let's throw it to commercial. Or there have been times where you have 8 games going on. Yeah. If 6 of them are in commercial, right? You can kind of look at your screen and be like, hey, let's go. Yeah. Let's go and play it. My question is it going to be like your typical 3-minute commercial block that they're going to be doing during NFL Red Zone, or is it going to be shorter commercial
What if it's
blocks?
like any auto race you watch where they go screen and screen.
See, that'd be fun. If they did it like NASCAR, if they treated NFL Red Zone like a NASCAR broadcast, I think that probably would be the best way to go at it. Now, I will say this, though. Like, NASCAR does get in trouble sometimes when they do picture-in-picture. There are key moments that might happen in a race that you need the voiceover for. You need the announcer explaining to you why it's so important. And then they have to come back and be like, hey, by the way, when you were barely paying attention, this was actually a big deal. That doesn't look that great. There will be a point this year where a touchdown will happen and you'll miss it because of a commercial. And people,
but again, you're still going to see it.
I hope they don't fluff it. I hope they don't mess it up. I hope that like 3 touchdowns don't go on at the same time. And it's hard for them to.
I would be very surprised if the football goes away on your screen and it's like a commercial block.
But you know what I'm saying? There will be there will be a big play, or there will be a big moment, or there will be something that does not get the full shine it should have. Because it
will be jarring the first time it happens. If you are a regular watcher of the Red Zone, that's the magic. That all of a sudden they have a commercial. But I think it'll probably be screen and screen, so they're not going to miss any of the action. But you make a good point about like certain moments of the game.
There are moments
where there's going to be a lull where you could sneak in a commercial. Now, maybe that's where they do the full screen commercial for 30 seconds and then they come back.
There also is the awkward moment where there's only 1 game back from intermission, right? Or there's only 2 games back from intermission.
There's a way to do it. I think it's pretty amazing that with this product and how popular it is, that we have made it to 2025 and we have not had like commercials.
The product though wouldn't be as popular if there wasn't commercials, or it would not be as popular if they had commercials.
Correct.
If they started,
I mean, it'd still be popular because it's unique and it gives you everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because you kind of, are you going to call somebody up? Are you going to call the NFL and complain?
No, I'm not.
See, this is where the NFL has us. The NFL has us because we're like, okay, I guess this is reality. Scott, do not say 7 hours of uninterrupted football. Do not lie to me.
I would call YouTube.
But you're still gonna be like, yeah.
I would call YouTube TV and complain and be like, lower my NFL Red Zone package because this is not what I'm paying for. I was cool with paying $11 a month for a Red Zone that didn't have commercials. I'm not okay with paying $11 a month for a Red Zone.
Yeah, I don't think it's sort of YouTube though.
Yeah,
this is the NFL.
I know.
Yeah.
Call the league office.
Yeah. Oh, Goodell.
Say I want to speak to Goodell.
Is this the Platte City QT?
Is this Goodell? It's McMaster. He knows me.
Now,
see how far we get.
Going back to a conversation last hour, if we had all of college football TV under one umbrella, we could have a college football Red Zone.
I don't think that would work.
Why?
As much as
on the CW.
Because
that's how you do it.
There are way too many games. It would be really hard for an announcer to zero in on specific moments. You would be jumping from different game to different game. And then also too, like,
not necessarily. You're not going to go like there were 91 games that were played. Now they were spread out from Thursday to Monday, but you're going to have your block at 11. You're going to have your block at 2:30. You're going to have your block at 6. And those are the games you're going to focus on.
Sure. I think that in the noon block though, there's only 8 games, right? In the NFL. So you can kind of jump around and you can get a bite of every single one of them and you can be kind of up to date. I would rather for college football just put 3 games on the TV, put 3 highly important games on the TV and watch those games because truth be told, let's be honest here. I don't really give a damn what happens in Rutgers or Maryland. Okay. I'll go back and I'll watch the Maryland play because Nebraska plays them. But I'm not strapping in being like, oh my God, I wonder what Loxley's doing with the boys, right? I would rather just put on 4 high quality
podcast
games.
Name.
Loxley and the boys.
What is Loxley doing with the boys? And be like, he bring his freshman quarterback on there, and you go, ooh, wonder where he'll be playing next year. You think the Maryland and Cal quarterbacks will be the most popular quarterbacks in the portal next year after the way they played week 1?
They should play a bowl game.
Ooh.
We can learn more about them.
Yeah, like most attainable quarterbacks, sure.
Because they look pretty good.
I was gonna say, what if Lenora Sellers, has a Carson Beck type year, where
he goes to Miami.
He's still of a good college quarterback, but he's not good enough to go very high in the draft. So he comes back and he wants to leave South Carolina. Like, I'm just saying, there's always those weird instances of like the quarterback that you didn't think performed to the level and they could be in the portal.
All right. A little bit later in the show, Steve Sipple will stop by. A thought or two about Cincinnati. Now that we're, a week ago. Damn.
No way. That was a week ago?
That was a week ago.
My God. Where were we? We were currently...
we were in the house. The vibes were high.
They actually were high at 7:40. They were all making breakfast and
they were excited.
I think
the next
Norma
morning
Ray,
people are like out.
I think Norma Ray was on the radio with us during this time.
Wonder what she's doing.
Probably delivering Starbucks to another.
Did you get her number?
No, I didn't get her number.
Slide in her DMs.
No. Why would I?
Jimmy, I'm just going to guess.
She's a grandmother.
Being around her, probably she's not on Twitter. She may know of Twitter, but not on Twitter. Strikes me as more as a Facebooker with all of her family.
Definitely.
You go,
sharing all
what
these
do you like
reels.
to do? She goes, I love my grandkids. She's just a grandma.
Yeah.
She just enjoys it.
And she said knitting, something else, canasta.
Ooh,
no,
I like
crochet.
Crochet.
What's canasta?
It's a card game.
You ever play euchre?
Bob?
I haven't played it in a while, but yes.
Love euchre.
Gambling
and
euchre. My
incredible.
mistake was when she said crochet, I'm like, Red Sox fan?
Garrett.
We're back with more Gary and Matt with Jimmy after this on 1620 The Zone. Does anybody care about Virginia Tech football?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I ran across this
We'll be right
stat.
back.
Well, so I mean, the people that if you know anybody that's Hokie fans and you watch a game in Blacksburg, they have the Great Open, Metallica, Sandman, Inner Sandman, and Virginia Tech has Beamer Bowl, Michael Vick.
Got a good history.
Weird game that Nebraska played there.
That was a weird game.
So they lost to South Carolina on Sunday. And I came across this as I was looking at this really wonky week 2 slate with some weird games on why are you going to play there. Virginia Tech has not beaten a Power 4 team since 2017. That's not in the ACC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
not in the ACC.
Whoa.
So outside of the ACC, they have not beaten a Power 4 team since 2017.
Really?
Yeah. Virginia Tech used to be one of those teams that are like, hey, wakey.
Well,
they're going to win 8. They might find a way to win 9. They played for the national championship 25 years ago, plus years ago.
So,
but they haven't done much.
They had 2 years ago in 2023, they were 6-6. They returned 20 starters from that team, including their current quarterback, Kyron Drones, and along with now Jacksonville Jaguar running back, Bashal Tuden. And they had...
Sounds like a made-up name.
It's not a made-up name. The guy's going to be a stud. Okay, Bashal Tuden, watch out. They go...
Yeah, do you think that's a disease or a running back?
No, it's a running back.
Tuten?
He's awesome.
Related to former punter Rick Tuten. Rest
I'm telling you right now, by the end of...
Looking at my arm in the mirror today, and I had a Bashal Tuten. And I have to get some cream for that.
I had a bump in my neck. Okay. Now that you say it, it does kind of sound like.
Did you get a look?
But he's going to be a stud. He's going to be very good. But they returned a lot of starters. I placed a bet on them to make it to the college football playoff at plus 1,400, and they lost to Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia in week 1. And just like that point on, everybody was like, "Oh, screw that!" Like they were, but they were supposed to be a surprise team.
Well, they were supposed to be. Justin Fuente was supposed to turn things around. Justin Fuente, before Nebraska hired Frost, wanted this job so bad. Like he contacted so many people to throw his name in, almost to the point of if Frost says no, Justin Fuente might have gotten an interview. Now Justin Fuente is out of football.
That's crazy.
Yeah, out of football, and he was like going to be a rising star
when he was in Memphis 10 years ago.
Wasn't hot when he played quarterback against Nebraska when he was at OU, but he was a hot name.
He lost 73-21.
And it Virginia Tech was going to be his bump, and it didn't work out. Now he's out of football. He's doing some TV, but I think he's completely out of football. But there's a couple other games this weekend, like Illinois going to Durham to take on Duke.
Yeah,
again, that's a weird line.
Very weird line.
Arizona State is returning the game to Starkville against Mississippi State, and then the atmosphere will be unhinged. West Virginia is playing a road game at Ohio. So a Big 12 team is going to a MAC school. It's a return. They did a home and home.
Wow.
That'll be fun.
But West Virginia playing in Athens.
Not far away for them.
No, it's not. It's not that. Actually, it's like a regional, not a rivalry, but it makes sense. They're not very far from each other. Mm-hmm. But that stadium will be out of control. But those are just like week 2 has some really weird matchups. Like Michigan State and Boston College are playing.
Well, that's a return game from last year. That was a really good game between those two teams last season. Here's a weird one. Like it's actually a good matchup. Baylor's going to SMU.
Yeah, that's one of the that's definitely on the top 10. That has that's a trophy game, right? Are they playing for a boot, or is that just SMU TCU? They might be playing for a cowboy hat,
a bag of money here.
It seems like everybody's got a trophy that they're playing for.
Well, you know what the craziest thing is? A week ago today, and I'm not being sarcastic or anything. Nebraska or Cincinnati had no clue that there actually was a trophy for this game. Like nobody had told anybody behind the scenes that, hey, if you win, we've got a trophy for you.
Wow, look at this.
Nebraska got the trophy. Have we seen the trophy since?
No.
Was the trophy in the cinematic recap? I don't recall.
I don't recall that either. Yeah. I don't think it was.
But nobody, honestly, nobody knew that winning that classic, you would get a trophy.
So
that's why you see the reaction of, what are we supposed to do with this?
Well, did you hear him on House Rules when he was talking about the Wisconsin game where they beat Wisconsin?
And they didn't know that trophy.
He didn't know there was a trophy for the Wisconsin game because they had lost every single year, so it just never exchanged hands ever. So, which is really, I was this was back when I was in school, but I had to get somewhere in Memorial Stadium, and I had a friend of mine who had access to all the parts of Memorial Stadium. And so he's like, hey, we'll just cut through the football facility. No big deal. Just, keep your head down. Don't say anything. Nobody's in here anyway. So we just go through, the offices, and we're just walking through, and the Heroes Trophy is just right there. It's just sitting like on a desk. Just
that was intentional.
Just everybody to see. It was
on the receptionist's desk.
Yeah.
It was intentional.
We just walk through, and like we're just kind of running through, and I go, "Oh, there's."
Did you take pictures with it?
No, hell no.
Recreate the celebration.
We were just trying to get to the other side, but we didn't want to walk through the whole crowd.
Nebraska was hoping that people would take pictures of that to show the location, so that would get out viral.
Yeah.
It was intentional. That was put on the receptionist's desk.
Well, they didn't get me. They didn't tempt me. I was like,
it's a huge trophy.
It is a massive trophy. I had no clue how big it was. It's kind of Conn Smythe a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Like it's a nice little pillar trophy.
Hurt your back.
How did you? There's some. I don't know. Maybe this isn't as novel as I thought it was, but the CBS Sports ticker is number 17 SMU hosts Baylor as a 125-year rivalry is rekindled.
Yeah, that's a top 10 game this weekend.
That'd be a great game this weekend. I'm not betting on Baylor again.
We'll see Baylor bounces back.
Not going to do that twice.
All right. When we come back, somebody is actually coming back Saturday night. Who will be at Memorial Stadium? We'll tell you when we return. Coming up, Sarah Baker Hansen, a little bit of a scheduling thing, so she will be on next week with the latest in her stake tour. Monty Kratzenstein, former Nebraska tight end, executive director of the Nebraska Greats, will be in studio here in this next hour. They got a big event involving Mark Manning, Antrell Taylor, and Brian Snyder. It'll be happening here in Omaha in a couple of weeks. That Monty will let you know how you can be involved in some of the other great things that organization is doing. Plus, we'll pick his brain because his big brain has seen a lot of Nebraska football in his lifetime. Also, Steve Sipple, same. And Brian Edwards, all still to come on a Thursday edition of Akron Week. Zip it on 1620 The Zone. All right, something was announced yesterday that both you and I know this person. This is in Omaha. You might recognize the name if you listen to us outside of Omaha, like Lincoln West. Ken Shimmick has let you know about the weather for 44 years. So I
was told about this last night.
So Ken Shimmick, who for 44 years has been the meteorologist at 1011. When I first moved to Lincoln, his wife Deb was one of the main anchors with Mel Maines, and then the sports guys were Dick Janda and the great late Jeff Schmall. And KLKN did not exist yet. So Ken was weather. And you know how big weather is, especially around here.
It's a big deal
on your television. Oh,
we like weather.
Hey,
when the sleeves roll up,
yeah,
go time.
I mean, Bill Ranby, he's got his own Twitter account with his sleeves. But Ken made it public that at the end of October, he is retiring after 44 years at 1011. I think that'd be a tough place to work because you got to work for two stations. You got to work for Channel 10. You got to work for Channel 11.
That's not how that works.
Are you sure?
It's not.
I worked there.
So did my wife.
No, I think isn't that right?
Did,
yeah. I've
for two stations.
I've always like, man, I've known a lot of people that have worked at 1011. I married one of them.
Same.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We both married somebody that was at 1011.
I didn't do anything with anybody at 1011. Don't crap where you eat, or at least I didn't.
I didn't crap where I eat.
Okay.
That's not a fetish we practice.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always man, they work.
You don't have to work two stations.
They work at 10.
We don't make
and
two different tasks, Gary.
Sometimes simultaneously.
It's just two different frequencies.
Are you sure?
If you get it on Channel 10 in some places, it's Channel 11 and
then you go to the next studio and you're like, "Good evening, Channel 11."
Good, yeah.
I mean, how has Kevin Schutz lasted that long? And they work him to the bone. They do work him to the bone. He's doing two stations. I mean, it's crazy. So I can see why Ken was like, oh, but in all honesty, because I am kidding, 44 years is a hell of a run. We were just talking with AK the other morning. So Rob McCartney, after 4 decades and over 30 years at KTV, is retiring at the end of the year. John Nicely retired earlier in the year at WWT, and I think he'd been in TV for 80 years and never aged.
He does look good.
But there is, local television news still matters in this town. Like people still watch the local news, and not every market is that way.
Sure.
But Omaha and Lincoln, we know those people.
You know your people.
Especially the anchors. I think it's different when somebody leaves that's been with you for a long time, that's a weather person. I think of all the news teams and the nightly news, it is the weather person that you become connected to the most. So when Ken leaves and he's not there every night, and Brad Anderson has already been announced, and Brad's a really, really good guy who's been at 1011 for a long time. You're gonna be like, oh, same when Julie and Bill decide that they want to retire from KTV. I mean, can you imagine going through a storm and Bill Ranby is not on your television?
It's one of those things
I won't take it seriously.
Working there at 1011, it seemed like there were team captains, essentially, of just team captains of news, team captains of sports, team captains of weather.
Maybe called the news director, the sports director.
No, but I'm talking
teammates.
Culturally within all of the reporters and people who were editing and whatnot. Past, the directors and the digital marketers.
Your internship was what, a couple of months?
3.5 months, yeah. So
Kevin says 2.5 months, too long.
Ken was awesome. Ken was the creme de la creme, just the nicest dude, super professional. Met him once, said my name to him once. He never forgot it. Always, we ever walk by each other.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Anything.
He's and listening right now.
And it's just one of those things too, where it's when you tell people about 1011, the first person that you hear about is, Ken Shimmick.
Yeah.
And so he was as good as he, and let me just say something right now. They did a lot of weather they do a lot of weather on 1011.
People in Nebraska love their weather.
Yeah, they do like our weather.
They do
screw over
so
our
much
sports
weather.
guys who only get about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah,
weather
exactly.
gets this 5-minute block.
Exactly. They got way more than a 5-minute block. They get weather a big block over there because he's so damn good.
Yeah,
because he's awesome.
And weather's important,
Yes.
but it's also he is an A+ person with a career to match, and he's got an incredible laugh. If you've been around Ken, you know about that laugh.
Great ties too.
So 44 years in the television business. They've had some HOFers that have come through 10-11. Again, when you have to work for 2 stations at the same time,
Impressive.
You should be in the Hall of Fame, especially if you last that long.
This explains why childbirth's ass was kicked at my house.
I mean, look at when weather. We've had some long-time weather people in this town that retire, and you go, oh man, a little bit more sentimental. People are still asking me, where's Jim Flowers?
Facebook. It's going to be below normal winter.
I saw Jim Flowers during the College World Series.
You going to?
He retired from Facebook from doing forecasts, and then I think he came back
for the storms. Yeah.
Are you going to apply?
For what?
To 10-11?
They already announced a replacement.
Isn't that a replacement?
T.O. retired. Frank's been announced.
Isn't that your dream? Do weather? You should call.
I just want to do it one time.
You should say, hey, Ken,
one time.
Ken, you're going out the door. You've been there for 44 years.
You're last night. Let me do the weather.
No, exactly. Ken, you got a lot of pull. How about you just say, hey, as one of my retirement gifts, I would like you guys to give an opportunity for Gary Sharp to do the weather forecast.
They got the name.
Come on, you can pull some strings.
He was a huge fan of my ex-wife, so I don't know if that'll go over so well.
It could.
He's like
conversation started.
He told me she was really talented. I said, yeah, she is. She is. Yeah. I was way before we were in Florida. But congratulations to Ken and Deb and their wonderful family. 44 years.
He had great ties, man. That dude showed up. That dude showed up to work with a different tie every single day. And like all of them
carrying on the Danny Nee legacy.
It was incredible. He had sharp ties.
I think him and I do share something in common. I think we're both admirals in the Nebraska Navy.
How many people? We need to get this actually.
No. It's very small group. Very small.
No, I want to know how small this group is. I want to know how small the group is and who you are.
Again, I'm married to one.
Was it the
she
same?
Said the same thing.
Was it the same
like Fight Club
thing that
stretching?
Why are you doing jazz hands right now?
Or TikTok hands.
You and Austin Jacobson. You've been taking tips from AJ. What was I going to say?
I have no idea, but let me tell you this. Okay.
Your jazz hands completely threw me off guard.
I just took it as you were stretching. Sometimes you're
stretching my
If you
fingers.
ever went to the bathroom at 10-11, you would see it was like the dressing room for the males. Yeah. There are some sharp suits in there. Yeah. Some very good looking suits. They were very well dressed. Shout out Cole. A lot of makeup in that bathroom too.
Well, that's television.
I know.
Same as our bathroom here.
Yeah. Well, no, our bathroom has white Monster energy drinks
on the floor.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
From the toilet.
Wasn't going to bring that up.
Hey, Jimmy, stop it.
Well, not today, but
Jimmy,
yesterday.
Jimmy,
you want to shout out for me?
Yeah, because you didn't expose me when I made a oopsie yesterday.
That's because we have HR here.
Because
apparently.
Jimmy's not on Twitter. That's why.
But Jimmy could have called the dogs if he wanted to. He could have. He could have
taken
a picture.
I'm not involved in that.
Hey, I'm glad you brought it up. We'll bring it up on the crossover.
No, stop it. Please don't bring it up on the crossover.
All right. So a week ago today, a fine gentleman who has a nice collection of farmer clothes at 6'10", can fit into a Ford Ranger. Teddy Prohaska played last Thursday for the first time in 644 days. Wow. So Saturday night in that little party they're going to have in Lincoln, and it should be a party. Let's have fun. Everybody Wang Chung is
indeed.
Teddy Prohaska will play his first game in Memorial Stadium since the Iowa game, since Deacon Hill was starting at quarterback.
Oh my God.
Hey, good trivia question. Last two quarterbacks that have started in games that Teddy Prohaska has started at Memorial Stadium, Deacon Hill and Ben Finley. That's true. So it was the Iowa game at the end of the 23 season. Last time he started at Memorial Stadium. So it's great, and he played well for the first time back off the injuries because he's had, let me point out his body. Let me do the operation game.
It's like RoboCop.
So he's had numerous surgeries. So he fought back, and he had a great camp, and he won the job. I don't think if he was from Nebraska, he would still be here.
No.
I think he would have been gone. I think people would have stopped bringing up his name. But the fact that he is local, and we all saw him play in high school, and we're like, man, Teddy is a monster at Elkhorn South, playing for the great Guy Rosenberg and that fantastic program. Teddy's a dude, man. I can't wait to see him at Nebraska. And then he gets on the field. And then he's holding his own as a young man against Aiden Hutchinson. Mm-hmm. And you're like, that's what we see. Man, that's Teddy. mean, because Teddy is noticeable. He was 6'10".
Yeah.
6'10", playing Class A football, and then he played basketball. So you're like, all right. I mean, I went to an Elkhorn South basketball. Well, actually, I went to a OSA game to see Teddy Prohaska play basketball because people like, I see him play basketball. And so everybody's like, that's Teddy. That's Teddy. And then Teddy goes down, and you're like, ah. Yeah. Then Teddy goes down again, and you're like, Then Teddy go down again, and you're like, maybe he's just injury prone. And then he goes down again, and you're like, hey, nice career. Hope he gets his degree. But because he was from here, we kept talking about him. And I think maybe in the back of his mind, I'm not going to speak for him, you say, I kind of owe it. I mean, Nebraska's been good to me. I want to give back to Nebraska. I'm not going to let this last injury, which would have been easy to say, peace, I'm out. I'm going to get my degree, still be a Husker, probably won't play football anymore. Says, hell no. I'm going to come back, and his body's in great shape. I just think if he wasn't from here, he would have been gone, and we would have been long gone of talking about him. But because he's a Nebraska kid, and we saw him in high school and how good he was, we kind of kept the flame like burning a little bit, and like, okay. So knock on wood, in bubble wrap, we make it through, but now we've made it to game 2. I think that's one of the great stories of Saturday night.
I agree with you. But I think it's more than just him owing it to Nebraska, which I understand where you're coming from, right? I mean, they stuck with him and they, treated his injury.
And then maybe owing is not the right word, but in his mind, hey, we're in this together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it.
But I hope, like, we're losing a lot of things in college football. I hope one of the things that we don't lose is having the pride of the team you grew up watching and having the opportunity to play for the team that you grew up watching, right? Because you can't do that in the NFL. Like, it's very rare you grow up a Chiefs fan and you end up playing for the Chiefs. It's very rare you grow up a Bears fan, you end up playing for the Bears. College football has provided so many kids so many opportunities to, like, grow up watching their favorite teams and then eventually playing for their favorite teams. And that's just kind of one of the things about the difference that you get with Nebraska in-state recruiting, where it's as if, like, because the football team means so much to the state and means so much to so many different people, the recruits that are from here that commit to that team will do things that maybe other players won't do to get out on that field and to represent that team. And Teddy, I think, is the living embodiment of that, because you are right. If Teddy was from, let's just say he was from Georgia, right? Maybe he transfers to Georgia Tech, right? Or he goes back home, or he's from Illinois. He transfers back to Northwestern so he can be closer to family, because that's the opportunity he has. Like, when you have those in-state recruits, you still kind of get that childhood, grow up, prideful bond that I think is very important to Nebraska athletics, and it's very important to the fans.
Well, and he kind of screwed up things.
Oh my God, massively. Because you bring in Pritchett, who, God, and looking back in March when he was mocked to go 21st in the first round to the Houston Texans,
don't Tommy Hillis.
Yeah, and you're like, they paid a pretty big dollar to bring this guy in, and Donovan Raiola has fixed a lot of offensive linemen, and then the guy that everybody thought Corcoran and Prohaska were done. I think a lot of people when they.
I didn't think Teddy was done. I thought Corcoran was done.
But I done from the
he should be done playing tackle. I will say that.
Yeah, he was slow getting out of the stands. But done from the perspective of, like, okay, they're backups or they're in jumbo packages. Like, the team has moved on from them. Like, too many injuries have happened. They've been here too long. The team has gotten more talent. Like, it's kind of over unless things go haywire, right? I don't think anyone other than maybe the people within that staff thought that would be the case.
Because then you could have two guys that are fighting for one position. You could split them.
Yeah.
But good on Teddy for throwing a wrench into things.
He's also a great guy. He was in the College of Journalism. Awesome human. Like, a lovable.
Is that really what his degree is in?
Yeah. He was in the College of Journalism.
Does he have a degree from the College of Journalism?
I don't know if
did he stick with it?
I don't know. Well, he was in a class last year.
Because I believe that Dylan was in the.
Well, he left. Dylan left the College of Journalism. Dylan's long gone from the COJMC. That was a headline. No, Teddy was in Matt Waite's SBMC 350 class, and it was the funniest sight ever seeing him. that massive human sit in the smallest desk you've ever seen in your entire life, raising his hand that's blocking the entirety of the view of everybody else who's trying to figure out how to code.
The lesson learned here is that Teddy can fit into anything. A Ford Ranger or a little tiny desk.
Or into a 3-point stance.
That's true.
Or a 2-point stance.
That's true. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. I got lots for you in this hour. Celebrity guest in studio. Hey, nice gear. Thanks for bringing it. We'll talk to Monty, who's in the house. Steve Sipple a little bit later. Brian Edwards as well. And Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. I don't. You're about to find out here. You're in the 402. We don't need to hear about the 308. All right, welcome back in, Gary and Matt with Jimmy, special guest in studio. Is that how we're going to start this? Just kidding.
You threw out some stuff early. You threw the volley out early.
Yeah. That voice that you are hearing, you remember him. I just went and looked at your picture. The pride of, well, I want to be fair, Brady, Nebraska, but went to Gothenburg.
Got recruited into Gothenburg to make sure you make that. I mean, I was supposed to go to
Pat
Brady,
Novacek was recruiting back then in the 80s.
Well, you know, he was ahead of his time.
Monty Kratzenstein is in studio, former Nebraska tight end, number 85 in your program, number 1 in your heart, the executive director of the Nebraska Greats Association that we will discuss. But good morning.
Good morning. Hey, you and I get to spend a little bit more time together here.
Jeez, yes.
Yesterday,
our significant others are going to wonder what's going on.
Hey, you might be a threat in some areas of the world. You're not a threat there.
To your wife?
Exactly.
Thank you. You make me feel really, really good. But let's we're gonna pick your brain. Also, the great organization that you are part of that helps so many former athletes, not just Nebraska athletes, but Nebraska schools. But we're also, so I think we can keep you for a couple of segments. We'll talk some football because you've seen a lot of behind the scenes of Nebraska leading up to this season. But for people that don't know what this organization is, give us a little rundown of what it is and who it benefits before we talk about the big event in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for this. I've been listening to you and this show even when I lived out in the great 308, and I could stream it with your multiple people, and I'm actually here right now.
Multiple people.
Well, you're not easy to work with, Matt.
No, he's good to work with. He's fine to work with.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I've had a good time.
Anyway, it's a pleasure to be here.
Matt, greater than mine. Just kidding.
Wait, just kidding. What do you mean? What do you mean? Mine is greater than Matt? Come on, I'm your coworker. I'm kidding. You guys have known each other well.
Back to the task at hand. I do appreciate you having me on here. But the Nebraska Greats Foundation has been around actually for quite some time. Started by Jerry Murtaugh. Just kind of he saw that Dave Hum needed some help, and got some of his friends together and raised some money and helped out Dave Hum at the end of his life. And it then now has morphed into a bigger and I would argue a better sort of a thing for helping people. And our basic mission is we're giving medical and financial assistance to former and current athletes from Nebraska colleges. And our main focus and our main mission has been medical help. We do everything from buying equipment to transportation to treatments to actual treatments that goes on. In the last, since I've been on the board for 6 years, which is, by the way, too long to be on any sort of a board. I've tried to get off many times, but the people and the mission has always drug me back. But they needed someone to kind of fill in as an executive director toward the end of last year. And again, the people in the mission are wonderful. So I've done that. So we've helped a lot of people. The basic premise is we raise money and we give it away. It's a nonprofit, and that's what we do. And we've had an advantage to work with some incredible people. We have some incredible recipients, and it's very rewarding.
Monty, your website, nebraskagreatsfoundation.org. I encourage anyone to go to it. And like I told you before we went on air, it's very, very nicely made. It's very detailed about what you guys do and how people can make an impact. But, you know, I did not play college sports. Obviously, you can tell looking at me. But I remember playing pickup hockey, right, for the first time after my high school career. And I kind of got sad. I was like, wow, I didn't realize, like, I'm never going to play a truly competitive game of hockey ever again in my life. And I was sad, and I just did it in high school, right, in front of, maybe 100 people at most. How much of a challenge can you describe it is for some of these athletes for years to perform in front of 80,000, 90,000 people, screaming fans on top of the world, whether it be men's sports or women's sports? And then one day they have that realization of, man, I'm never going to play a competitive volleyball game again. I'm never going to play a competitive football game again. How difficult is that for some athletes?
Well, you bring up a great point, Matt, because those of us that have been around it for a long, long time have seen it on both sides of the spectrum.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of people that have used their athletic success and just their athletic connections and the things that made them successful in athletics into an incredible career and into a life post athletics. But you're absolutely right. There's a lot of people that struggle with that. We all know people that their highlight of their entire life was maybe their high school career, their college career, and so on. So that's something that through my athletic career that was always I was very fortunate because I knew I wasn't going to play in the NFL. I knew that I got squeezed as much out of the talent that I was given, and so we were always taught by Coach Osborne and that group way back when that the whole life after football. The one thing that gets lost in all that is that a lot of these bad things that happen to people, some of them are their own doing. And then there's other times where there's bad things that happen to people, and a lot of our recipients had nothing to do with them. Cancer doesn't care what kind of person you are.
Absolutely.
And a lot of those car accidents and cancer treatments and all those things that we've helped people with throughout the years. The one thing we have found out, to your point, is athletes, male and female, have a lot of pride. That's what made them very successful. And they aren't ones that want to ask for help. They aren't ones that's going to come out with their hands out a lot of times. So a lot of the recipients that we get are word of mouth. We try to spread the word, and I get calls all the time from teammates of former athletes or from trainers or assistant coaches who have kept track of people, because that's one of our missions, is to try to get the word out there and get people to contact us, because that is a challenge.
Monty Krattenstein, former Nebraska tight end, the executive director of the Nebraska Greats Foundation, joining us here in studio. One thing in the event we did last year, and there's a big event coming up over at Happy Hollow here in a couple of weeks that we'll speak on in just a moment, is the cooperation, because we had a great roundtable, and I was lucky enough to kind of facilitate it. We had Troy Dannon from Nebraska. We had Adrian Dow from Omaha. We had Marcus Blossom from Creighton. And as you keep telling people, this is not just a University of Nebraska Lincoln thing with former athletes. Sure. This is across the state. But I know that one thing that you're appreciative of all the other support, is that you have the support definitely of those three athletic departments in your mission.
Well, again, we do. This is not a Husker Greats Foundation, and that's very, very important. Now, we all know what runs this state. It's Creighton basketball and Nebraska football. We understand that, and we have board members who are there for a lot of great reasons, but people know our board members, and that's the important thing. But to your point,
who are some of your board members, by the way?
Great question. We have an incredible board. It's one of the reasons why I'm still working for them. There's some guy by the name of Bruce Rasmussen. I don't know. He's done some few things along the way, but Bruce has been part of our board for a long time. And whenever we have a meeting, I sit next to Bruce. Selfishly, I sit next to Bruce, and then we have a vote when I was on the board. And I would always say, I want to know what Bruce has to say about this. And then people gave me a bad time. Have you ever voted against something that Bruce said? I said, no. But Bruce has been very supportive, and Creighton Athletics has been very supportive of us. Boyd Epley is on our board. He's wonderful. Eric Crouch, who's one of the most service-oriented, humble human beings. We all know that. He's on our board. Chris Brown is part of our board, former kicker and a great businessman, works for Lutz right now. Brett Wetton is our president of our board, and Big Brett has a personality and a heart as big as his body. He's one of the best people that I know.
And somehow was on the sidelines Thursday night at Arrowhead.
At any important event, you will see him involved in some way. And Brett can't hide. He's about 6'8", 380 pounds. And so he's not going to hide from too many people, but he does an incredible job. He's kind of self-deprecating. He talks about how he's just a big dumb guy, and he is one of the smartest guys I know, and a great board member. Bill Hammock is part of our board. Bill's been a tremendous supporter for Creighton Prep and Creighton Athletics along the way. And then Tom Dinsdale from Grand Island. And then Pat Logston just joined our board. Pat Logston, longtime tremendous administrator for the University of Nebraska. So, one of the things that I'm pretty good at in my life is just hanging around good people and being associated with good people. And I've learned a lot from them. And we have a tremendous board.
You definitely don't have to, say the identity of the person in this question I'm going to ask you, but you've worked with Nebraska Greats now for a couple of years. I'm looking at your LinkedIn at 6 years now. Do you have a moment, Monty, where you laid your head down and you're like, man, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of this group. I'm proud of this this instance where we help this athlete do this?
We are tremendously proud of a lot of the things that we do, not individually, not myself, but I think everybody, one of the things I've always believed is that everybody should be involved in some sort of service organization and do things for other people. That's just what we all should do. And this has been one case where I've been involved in this organization, and it's helped me maybe to help some people, but it is just one of those things where if I have a bad day of my real job, if I have a bad meeting, bad phone call, whatever, all I have to do is call up, one of our recipients, and you find out that, hey, this this isn't such a bad day.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of that involved, and I can call up our board members, I can call up just a lot of people and be inspired. And it sounds cliche, but I just have a real place in my heart for that service sort of aspect. I think everybody should do it, and everybody can help in some way. Some people write a check, and that's great. It costs money to do these sorts of things, but there also are opportunities to serve people and get involved other than just writing a check, and that's what we really strive for.
And I mentioned the event last year. This year, coming up here in a couple of weeks over at Happy Hollow, it's going to be. The timing is great because he is on the cusp of having his best season ever in his sport. Mark Manning. Yeah. We're going to have a Mark Manning night where he's bringing Antrell Taylor, who is Millard South wrestler, who had a great NCAA championship
and a great story.
Yep, especially in his family, who he has lost close people to him. And then Brian Snyder is coming as well. But let our listeners know, and then also how they can get involved with what we're doing here on the 23rd.
We've had some different events throughout the years, and we've had baseball themes, and Alex Gordon and Kyle Peterson and Brian Dunsing and those people. We brought Tyrus and Larry the Cable Guy in for a fun event one time, and we've had volleyball themed events, but we decided to change it a little bit up this year, just really to honor a leader who for 25 years has kind of, I think, flown under the radar. And Mark Manning and his wrestling program obviously is getting some notoriety now. He's done the same thing for years and years, and I've known him for a long, long time, and he's just a tremendous individual. So we're going to have an event at Happy Hollow, September 23rd. Starts at 5:30, and as you mentioned, it's going to be Mark Manning and Husker Wrestling, Beyond the Mat. Our format is pretty easy to listen to. You have helped us last year, and we look forward to you, talking, asking questions, and talking to those guests. We have some great sponsors. Dayspring Bank and the Randectors have always helped out the foundation. Omaha Truck Center, Trey Mitty, and some guy by the name of Chad Kelsey who's gotten involved. The Premier Advisement Group with Bill and Danielle Altman. Those are people that they make these things happen because again, it costs money to do that. But we're going to sell. We've sold tables. We're going to sell some sponsorships and sell tickets. And we're just going to have a night where we talk about the foundation. We're going to recognize some of our recipients, and then we're going to learn about Nebraska wrestling, and we're going to learn about Mark Manning, who has just done things the right way for so long. And so we're really excited about that particular event.
What, you guys have done a lot already, but as the executive director, what's the future of the Nebraska Greats Foundation? What are the next steps? Are there things that you're doing now that you want to advance? Are there things that you're not doing now that, hey, this is the thing that we're striving for right now?
That's a good question. When I took on this role, kind of again as a side gig, we evaluated, just like anything, you evaluate all your pillars and what you're doing.
Yeah.
We mentioned the website. We looked at our marketing. We looked at our branding. We looked at our board structure. We looked at our donor base. We looked at all those different things, and we tweaked a few of them. This organization started by Jerry Murtaugh is a great organization doing the right things, but as you grow, you need to put structures in place that will help with that. We have grown, and we started to partner in the drug and alcohol world. We partnered with North Point, a tremendous organization led by Mark Jones, former Creighton basketball player and a friend of Bruce Rasmussen's. And we do referrals, and they do their thing. They vet these people that go into their facility. But if insurance can't pay for all that, that's an expensive sort of thing. So we've kind of dipped our toe in that. We've helped some people in that area, and I can see that expanding to answer your question. The other thing that we've done is we're really proud of our partnership with UNO. I could still call it UNO, Omaha University and Omaha Athletics. And Lindsay over there does such a tremendous job of her relationship with their athletes. And Gary, you know that from her. And oh, by the way, she's a 308 person originally too. So stick that.
Stand up for the 515, but
yeah.
I'm from the 847, so I don't. It's all going over my head.
Amen, brother. So Lindsay does a tremendous job of identifying former athletes in their program that just didn't quite finish their degree, and they've come back and we help them with. There's I think 7 of those athletes that we've helped and paid for their final part of their tuition and got them into the workforce. We have a couple of really involved donors who that's really near and dear to their heart. That donated some money for that specifically, and so we've done that too. So to answer your question, there is growth. There's always things that we're working on day by day, but we do have some plans to continue to expand this. I think one of the things you have to be careful of, you have all these great ideas. I'm a little bit more of a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month sort of a guy in the operations world. And I really think that we need to make sure and grow at the correct pace, because you can kind of get over your skis a little bit, try to do too much. In my life, I have to self-evaluate sometimes, say, hey, am I getting really mediocre at a lot of things instead of being really good at a few things? So that's what we're doing.
Oh, you're good at playing tight end at Nebraska.
I was okay.
For people that would like to be involved in our night here in a couple of weeks or learn more about the foundation, where can they go?
Absolutely. And Matt mentioned it, NebraskaGreatsFoundation.org. It's a great website. You can go in and donate right away, but you can type in events. You can look at our event. We do have about, I think, 6 or 7 tables yet available. We do have a few individual seats available. We're going to go out and hopefully get one more sponsor. So if anybody out there wants to feel like they want to become involved in this that way, do that. I can. There's a lot of people out there that can probably have my cell phone number, good, bad, and otherwise, and you can reach out to me and I can get you connected. But really, we're looking forward to it.
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to dive into some football. Monty Kratzenstein, the pride of Gothenburg, former Nebraska tight end. I can't believe it. Only 10 catches. I mean, I know Godowski is one of your best friends.
He thought I'm the slowest tight end to ever start at Nebraska. We can go down that whole thing. Well, he just kept overthrowing me by about 2 feet.
I think he had the best profile pic with the mustache and the neck roll.
All the cool dudes were doing it, Matt. All of them were doing it those days. You didn't have a cowboy collar, a neck roll, and a mustache. That was when Tom Selleck was a big deal. So
we'll be back with more of Monty after this on Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. All right, here on this Thursday morning, we're fortunate enough to have the executive director of the Nebraska Greats Foundation, former Nebraska tight end, all-around good guy. Many people are saying that. I'll agree. Matt as well, Jimmy. Monty Kratzenstein is in studio with us. Again, a reminder, the Beyond the Mat event will be over at Happy Hollow. It is coming up on Tuesday night, September 23rd. For more information, go to the website, nebraskagreatsfoundation.org. All right, now let's talk some football. Because you, as a former Nebraska tight end, I don't know if you know this, Monty, the offense involving the tight end at Nebraska has changed a little bit from when you were playing under Coach Osborne. But it's very interesting. Like the tight ends at Nebraska, you're all a fraternity. Mm-hmm. You stay in contact with guys that either were just recently here, maybe in the past, or current guys. And one of the current guys that is playing tight end is somebody who you know the family well, being a 308 guy. Can you explain how much of a transition it is for Heinrich Haarberg to go from playing quarterback to all of a sudden, hey, you're big enough, just play tight end, and what maybe you saw last Thursday and what you think you'll see moving forward?
It is really interesting when you see guys switch positions. And I've seen it over the years, and there's certain guys that are just incredible athletes, and maybe they aren't getting a whole lot of playing time, and people say, "Oh, just do this." And I would say that you know better than I on this, but probably Cody Glenn, the running back that went to linebacker, might have been maybe the most successful one as far as he went to different side of the ball. There's a cornerback. Once in a while you can go receiver to cornerback and that sort of thing. But one of the and I'm biased, and you talked about the tight end. The tight end world has always been one where you have to be very versatile. Back in the day, and I don't like to be this guy. Back in the day, you're going down and you're double teaming the defensive tackle. You're blocking linebackers. You're trying to block in practice Broderick Thomas. Good luck to me on that one. Yeah. But you're doing those sorts of things at the line of scrimmage. There wasn't a whole lot of flexing out. But at the same time, you arc blocked on a cornerback, and then, oh, by the way, they were going to throw the ball, and you were probably going to be open because it was a bootleg pass, and there wasn't a whole lot of athleticism, thank goodness, involved in that. And then you'd be wide open. You just had to catch the ball. So that has changed quite a bit. I say all that to say this, that I think there's so many nuances to playing tight end, for example, that it is a tough position to learn. It isn't just run as fast as you can right down the field, which, by the way, Heinrich is an unbelievable athlete. He is an NFL body, and he is an NFL athlete, but he hasn't played tight end very long. So he's learning every day in practice. I have the fortunate ability to talk to Ron Brown quite often. And Ron Brown talks about that a lot. No, even though he's not his coach, he talks about him trying to learn the different nuances of attacking certain shoulders on a route, or getting cornerbacks to turn their hips on a route. Oh, by the way, you got to go in motion. You got to try to kick out a 250-pound guy as an H-back. And so I guess what I'm saying is it's very difficult, very challenging. Heinrichs is the kind of kid that, because of his athletic ability, he can do it, and he will do it. I think he'll put some things on tape this year that people will really like. But that expectations, just because he's an unbelievable athlete, are sometimes a little bit high.
I love the phrase NFL body, because I don't think enough people realize that some people are just born with it, right? Like, you can have all the production in the world, and you just might not have the makeup to be in the league.
Have I mentioned that I might have been the slowest tight end to ever play in Nebraska? Have I mentioned that? No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's, you just see guys, we talk about it all the time, getting off the plane or getting off the bus, and they're just dudes.
Yeah.
Right? And they just look a little bit different. Now, having said that, in today's world of underwear Olympics and 7-on-7 and all the testing sort of thing, you do just have to be a football player.
So I want to ask you about a guy that I think a lot of people would say he's just a football player, but if he continues to play the way that he played against Cincinnati, he's going to have NFL production. What about Luke Lindenmeyer?
I do. See, you and I, we just met, right?
Yeah.
I think we're tracking all the same. But he's a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Right. He's a guy that he's just a football player, and he does a lot of different things very well. And now the way the tight ends are used in college, going back to what you said, Gary, the way that tight ends are used in college and the way they're used in the NFL, there's roster spots for people like that.
Mhm.
I go back to guys that were good tight ends in college that have made a living in the NFL because of that. Jack Stoll comes to mind recently for Nebraska. Travis Vokolek comes to mind. They wouldn't be what you would consider some of the greatest. They weren't Junior Miller. All you old guys understand that one. He was
one of the best.
He was the one that I had a poster up in my wall when I was in 7th grade of Junior Miller. But they weren't that type of guy. But if you can do a lot of things really well, you can play at the high school level, college level, and NFL level. But your athleticism dictates to where you can go there.
Sure.
Again,
great point.
I was a pretty good Class B high school football player. I somehow managed to find myself as a walk-on playing. I overachieved in playing for Nebraska. I knew I didn't have an NFL body, to your point.
Sure.
So what do? You just squeeze as much out of that. And Luke's one of those kids that I don't know what he tests. I have no idea, but I watch him on the field, and he does so many things really well that he's really fun to watch.
So let's you of course love the sport, and as a former player, you like when you're in Lincoln the ability to go and watch these guys practice. And you've seen them leading up to the season. What is different in your opinion that gives you hope, or something that you really like as a former player who practice was a major thing under Coach Osborne?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm an eternal optimist, and sometimes people make fun of me because I'm one of those guys that going into the season, I just look at the ceiling and I'm saying, hey, this is the year that's going to turn the corner, and so on. But to answer that question, it's really hard to put your finger on it, but structure and development is some of the biggest things in any sort of program. Even though college football has changed and it becomes, guys transfer portal and all these different things, you have to develop players. There's very few players that can enter and play as a true freshman. If you have a couple of them, if you recruit really well, you can have a couple of them, but you have to develop those players. What I see down in Lincoln under Coach Rule and that staff is a real ability to develop kids that aren't going to play this year and might not play next year, but they're getting developed and they're getting repetitions and they're getting taught and they're getting coached. I've been down there over the years and have seen, the very, you could tell right away who the top 22 were because they were getting all the reps, and then everybody else standing over to the side. And that just doesn't work in college football. It doesn't work. It might work in the NFL, and there's different coaches that didn't quite understand that process. So when you go down and watch practice, everybody is getting coached. Everybody is competing. And that's the other aspect of it that I will say this until I die, that the hardest, I had knots in my stomach before Tuesday practices. I didn't get that nervous before games. I truly didn't get that nervous before games because your preparation and you've been through it. And part of it was because, I'm as a redshirt, I'm trying to block Neil Smith and Broderick Thomas and Danny Noonan and Spockman and Mumford and Brian Davis. And I'm like, what am I doing? I was trying to survive, right?
Yeah, sure.
There was nobody that we were going to play that was that much better than them. So that's what happened. And it's very difficult now because you've got to make practice hard. You've got to make practice hard. And I'm not just talking from a conditioning standpoint, but you have to tackle. Look at all those games we all watched over the weekend. How many missed tackles there were. And a lot of that is because teams don't practice the physicality and they don't practice the fundamentals of blocking and tackling because A, they're afraid of getting guys hurt. And B, I'm sorry, but if you make it too hard on guys, sometimes guys don't like it. And sometimes guys don't buy in and because they're just going to go somewhere else. And that's a very big piece of it. You go down and watch practice now, you see physicality, you see competitiveness. It's a real thing. And I hope that's going, I think, and I hope that's going to pay off in the long run. I do believe it will.
What do you make of 15's performance last Thursday?
I'm a big expectations guy. I say the perception is always based on what your expectations are. And off season, and we've heard so much about him, and he's such a quality human being. And He works really hard. He's not a prima donna, which he could be, right? He could be, but we hear about how much he really works at it. Our expectations are really, a lot of people's expectations are too high for him. But I thought it was really good, especially what they asked him to do to win the ball game. Will that performance be okay against Michigan in 3 weeks? Absolutely not. But it'll be a whole different game plan, a whole different situation too. So, you know, he does the right things. I admire him as a leader because, again, you know, I think when I was a 20-year-old and if I was making $3 million or whatever that number is, I don't know how good of a leader and a person I would necessarily be.
Sure.
There's a lot
great
of, you know, I mean, because you've kind of got it made. You've got to have, he's special in that way. You talk to his teammates. He's a great teammate. You watch him out in practice. He's doing the right things. And I think that's the most important thing. It'll pay off in games.
Hey, I appreciate Monty coming in. I want one final one here before we let you go. You and I had a discussion yesterday, and everybody is talking after week one, the word explosive plays. Okay, that's probably going to be beat into the ground before Saturday night against Akron. But I thought you made a great point. We were talking about difference makers and guys that can make plays. Nebraska have any difference makers, or do they have a nice depth of guys that can make plays?
Yeah. From what I've seen in practice, and the game, you're right. There's certain phrases that people kind of glob onto, right? And explosive plays is part of that. And how do you make explosive plays? How do you get explosive plays? Well, there's only so many X's and O's that are going to get you an explosive play, right? I mean, very seldom does an offensive team scheme an explosive play.
Sure.
Explosive plays come from a missed tackle, someone breaking a tackle, a missed assignment on the other side, for the most part. And that's what we didn't have. It's yet to be determined how many difference makers we have on offense. We have a lot of good players. They're doing the right things. I think Barney is a difference maker. I think they are hoping that he will make explosive plays. There were about 2 or 3 plays that were left on the table that I know that, you know, a guy fell down, didn't get tackled and fell down. Barney had one of those, or a guy went up and made a catch and fell down. And if he keeps his feet, he walks in. Then all of a sudden we have 2 big explosive plays and we aren't even talking about it. Right. But that it is evident that in the game of college football, you have to have difference makers. You got to have guys that can chunk some yardage and chunk some plays. Having said that, Cincinnati was not going to allow that with their umbrella 3D coverage. And so this week, for all of us football geeks that love X and O's, this week is fun to watch because we're going to see what Akron, who's overmatched, what they will do to try to slow down and keep those explosive plays down. Will they we've seen it before. Somebody throws the entire kitchen piano at you, you know, where you're blitzing 13 guys per play, and to make some things happen, or are they going to sit back and say, you know, we're going to make them make a mistake? I love watching that stuff.
Hey, I appreciate it as always. Again, give out the information where people can, first of all, help out with the Nebraska Greats Foundation, but also join us on the 23rd.
Yep, NebraskaGreatsFoundation.org is our website. Go on there. You can donate, but you can also register for our event at Happy Hollow Beyond the Mat, a tribute in honoring Mark Manning and the Husker Wrestling Program on September 23rd. We're looking forward to that. Again, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it. We'll
hang out with you guys and talk all the time.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Hey, I look forward to that. I've always told I had a face for radio. I don't know if that whole TV thing is going to work out for me. We'll see.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, if you can do it.
Thank you very much. That's Monty Krattenstein, former Nebraska tight end, executive director of the Nebraska Greats Foundation. Again, you got the information. We'd love to have you join us on the 23rd when we honor Mark Manning and the Nebraska Wrestling Program. Coming up in the last hour, Steve Sipple stops by, plus Brian Edwards, with a peek ahead to week 1 of the NFL that begins tonight here on The Zone with the Eagles and the Cowboys, and week 2 of the college football slate that has the Cyhawk Showdown and Michigan, Oklahoma. The generational talent. There's a word that'll be beaten to the ground before week 3. That is Michigan, Oklahoma. B. Edwards will join us about 9:45 on Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. All right, the NFL season begins tonight. Dallas at Philadelphia. An opportunity to watch Cam Jurgens play. More likely to return to the Super Bowl, Kansas City or Philadelphia?
Kansas City. Kansas City for sure.
Suck up.
Yeah. I love what you guys did with the offensive line.
Thank you.
Up the middle.
I thought I had a good draft.
Drafted a really good tackle. At defense, we'll see what happens at the second cornerback spot, but overall, secondary is going to be good. You're going to have Chris Jones. You're going to have Karlaftis. I mean, it's going to be solid once again. You got the best quarterback, one of the two best quarterbacks in the league. Kelsey. I think Xavier Worthy is going to be a legitimate weapon. And then you get Rashee Rice back, right, halfway or at some part through the season when he's gone.
Oh, we'll get him back after a 6-game suspension.
So I think the Eagles are going to have more problems than people anticipate. I think they lost a lot on that defensive line, and they're gonna. And I like Ty Robinson, but they are going to rely a lot on Ty to kind of fill up that Milton Williams role. You lose Josh Sweat, who I thought easily could have been the Super Bowl MVP. The Fangio defense is made to. You don't need to have 5 great defensive backs, but they have a major problem at their secondary corner. Which really did prove to be a problem for them when the year that they didn't make the Super Bowl again, when they started off 10-0 and then collapsed. I love the Chiefs roster. I still like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are good.
Yeah, I think Green Bay beats Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game, and I have Buffalo beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
I have Washington beating Green Bay in the
to go to the Super Bowl.
To go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I like Green Bay just as much as you do. Almost damn near close. Well, probably. I like Green Bay
a little bit louder.
I like Green Bay. I even told Joey this. I liked the Green Bay before they got Micah. Okay. They did a lot on the O-line. They have some solid weapons. They drafted the kid from Texas. Their quarterback, I think, is the most overrated, overhyped thrower of the football probably in the world. But their coach might be the most underrated coach in the NFL. And there's a reason why his EPA's expected yards added over the middle is so high, because guys are just schemed to be wide open. And he just hits them on the dot. I love Washington, though. I think they're out on Deebo Samuel. They're out on Cliff Kingsbury being having another year with Jaden Daniels. Dan Quinn, a lot of people don't recognize part of the Cowboys fall off last year was because those turnovers went from one NFC East team to another NFC East team.
The fall off's been going on for 30 years. But
I love Washington. I think they'll have a worse record than they did last year, but I think they'll be a better team.
Now, who's your AFC?
Chiefs.
Oh, so you got Kansas City, Washington.
Yes. I have the Chiefs winning it all.
Okay,
this is not an ass kiss thing to you.
It's good.
I'm not trying to get brownie
hope you're
points.
absolutely right.
I can't when we get into this conversation about the Bengals, not the Bengals, sorry. When we get into this conversation about the Ravens and about the Bills, I'm not going to play the hypothetical game. I'm not going to play maybe this is hypothetically the Bills should get the Chiefs at some point. The Ravens should get the Chiefs at some point. I don't think the Bills did enough in the offseason to get better for me to think that they can get over the hump against the Chiefs. And I think it's the opposite. I think the Chiefs got better more than the Bills got better. And let's just be real here. The Lamar Jackson playoff.
MVP, by the way.
Yeah. That's your pick to win MVP this year? My pick is Joe Burrow. I think Joe's going to
can't go wrong with either one.
He's going to make the playoffs and they'll give him the MVP. They're licking their lips to give him the MVP. They really want to give Joe Burrow.
Well, I think the offensive player of the year will be Jamar Chase.
I think the offensive player of the year is going to be Christian McCaffrey.
I have him as my comeback player of the year.
I think that they have the easiest schedule. He's had plenty of time to rest. Now here's my sleeper pick though for offensive player of the year, Drake London. I think Drake London, you look at the last 3 games that he had with Michael Penix Jr. as his quarterback, 39 targets. I think he's just going to get pinned the ball on him wherever he goes. But back to
I think Atlanta knocks off Tampa to win the South.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know. So Tampa, the Falcons have this crazy stat where they don't have a pass rusher who's gotten more than 7 sacks in the last 5 years, and that hasn't happened since the modern era. Like, no one has ever had that bad of a pass rush. They got Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner went to Minnesota. They got the what's his name? The kid from Georgia, and then the Jalen Walker and James Pierce, the two SEC guys. So they're hoping that's going to shore up. I mean, I like Tampa Bay a lot this year. Tampa Bay is kind of like the sneaky, sexy pick to like win the NFC for some like bettors in Vegas.
And I can see why. I just and I have them in the postseason, but I you could go chalk basically and like, oh, wait a minute, my picks look exactly the same as last year. That's the one I was like, okay, that's going to be different. I think Atlanta knocks off Tampa.
I'll give you a different one. Winning the NFC West for me is the Seattle Seahawks. I think they win it over the Niners. I think they win it over the Rams.
Does Jalen Milroe start a game at any point this year in Seattle?
I think Sam Darnold goes out there, and I think they play a very conservative, very smart style of offense that fits right into that Greg McDonald defense, which, by the way, I think they're returning, 10 of 11 starters from last year's defense, who was pretty damn good, to this year's defense. Their offensive line isn't the best, but I like Seattle a ton. I'm off on the Rams. I'm out on the Rams. There's no such
Stafford's back.
There's no such thing as, I used to have a bad back. Like that that doesn't exist.
I'm back.
Yeah, no one ever says no. Everybody, once you have a bad back, you got a bad back forever. There's just no.
I don't know. I changed mattresses and I was good.
You're not an NFL football player, Gary.
True.
You're not getting hit in the ribs and in the spinal cord and in the vertebrae every single week.
But Stafford is also not a talk show host.
What do you have plenty of lumbar support in that seat?
I don't know. These seats are kind of rickety.
What would you rather do? Sit in that seat for 15 years or take hits from guys the likes of Jared Allen and Julius Peppers and Kenny Clark and Milton Williams?
You're 2 years away from that.
I would take the paycheck. Yes. This is probably new to a lot of people. Being a starting quarterback in the NFL pays more than being a morning show talk show host.
Breaking.
I can confirm this.
On 1620. Now, we're taken care of really well, but I mean, if they want to bump us to Stafford level.
Well, apparently you can make half as much as an NFL quarterback by just being the uncle of a Kawhi Leonard. Apparently.
F that guy.
I'm on Team Ballmer.
You're on the how are you on Team Ballmer?
By the way, Pablo finds out was pretty good.
You said that hesitantly. You said that very under your breath.
No, I think you got to pick sides.
Pablo?
I'm not anti-Pablo. I think in this case, Steve Ballmer is not that dumb.
Oh, I think he's that dumb.
I don't think he's gotten to where he's gotten with being dumb.
You just think that it just happened. Kawhi just happened to sign that deal?
This might not be a Ballmer thing. What if Kawhi committed fraud?
Checks out.
But why would
look at the timing of?
Yeah, but why would Aspiration? Why would Aspiration just do a deal with Kawhi and just give Kawhi money? And then why in Kawhi's termination
before he
clause,
signed with the Clippers?
Yes, but he made the LLC like around the same time that he signed that deal that it happened. Also, too, why would a clause in the Aspiration contract be if you play for any other team than the Clippers, we could terminate your contract?
This is like a
why
Bitcoin
would that be?
thing.
No, it's not. He gave $50 million to this company that he thought was stone cold fine, and then they end up being fraudulent.
I'm on Team Mark Cuban right now.
Yeah,
who's backing up Ballmer.
Mark, that episode of Pablo Torre and Mark Cuban is going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But no, I like the Chiefs. I just think that I'm just going to go with the quarterback that wins the close game. I'm so sick and tired of this whole. The Chiefs are they can't possibly keep winning the 1-score games. Well, they keep doing it. So it's just like. Until Lamar beats somebody big in the playoffs and until Patrick Mahomes chokes in a close game situation, I'm just going to keep betting on that is going to continue to happen.
Husker for Life, who is a Lions fan, he says, shh, is Detroit not playing this season? I have them getting to the second round.
I don't have Detroit in the playoffs.
I think Detroit wins double-figure games again this year.
I have the Commanders, Packers, Buccaneers, Seahawks are my division winners, and I have the Eagles, Rams, and 49ers. I think
very biased NFC North guy over there.
I think that the Detroit Lions have lost way too much on that offensive line. They're not going to be able to run the ball the same way that they did last year, which was sneakily their strength of that team. And on top of that, you lose not just two coordinators, you lost the two best coordinators in football. You like when we went to the shop of like, all right, who are going to be the new head coaches on the coordinator to hire list, it was number 1 Ben Johnson and number 2 Aaron Glenn.
Head coach still there?
Yeah, but he's not an
quarterback still there.
He's not an X's and O's guy.
Is his wide receiver still there?
Because Dan Campbell by himself filled the void that is being left by Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
I don't know. I like what they have in Detroit. I just think that's a division where one team will win 11, the other will win 10.
I think it's going to be an
Could
incredible.
have a division that has 3 playoff teams.
I have the West having 3 playoff teams. I have the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks.
It starts tonight. Nobody has Dallas in the postseason, right?
No.
Okay.
What's more likely? Eagles win the Super Bowl again, or the Cowboys have a top 5 overall pick?
Eagles win the Super Bowl.
I don't think they're gonna. I
don't think the Cowboys will be that bad.
I know. They still won 7 games last year.
Ooh,
They're
let's hang a banner.
No, the Cowboys' offense will be pretty respectable.
Rent the T-shirts. Won 7 games.
Well, I'll say this: the Javonte Williams signing might be one of the worst signings that was made this offseason because the Denver offensive line last year was ranked number 1 according to Warren Sharp in the offensive line push metric. Javonte Williams was 45th out of 47 running backs and expected points added.
All right, Steve Sipple, who is expected to be on the show. We'll see. He ghosted us last week. I guess he was in the process of driving, or he was riding. They don't let Sip drive.
He said some
I'm not
excuse to me up at the press box as to why he couldn't come on.
First thing I said when I saw him, when I got off the elevator, he's like, oh. I was like, what? Hey, Sip, how you doing? Like I said, rough day.
You got to be careful here.
I can't get the field. He'll join us next ahead of Akron. When all reality, the reality is this should be a. We don't know what we got in week 1. I think we know what we have in week 2. Nebraska is playing a much inferior opponent. That's the reality. Sip stops by next on 1620 The Zone. All right, rolling along on a Thursday where we get to talk to Steve Sipple from 93.7 The Ticket and On 3. Good morning.
Who's that? Who's that singing?
Not me. Have you
you take our breath away?
Have you watched Top Gun, right?
No.
This is when they
Whoa.
canoodle.
Whoa. No Top Gun for Steve Sipple?
No, I've seen snippets of it, but I know it's Tom Cruise. That's about what I know.
And Val Kilmer's in that movie too.
Yeah, this is when they play
Val
volleyball.
Kilmer, R.I.P. on that one. I don't know who that song is. Is that Celine?
No, Berlin.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Did anything on Thursday take your breath away?
Well done, Matthew. Well done.
Thursday.
Last Thursday. A little game happened in Cincinnati and Kansas City.
Yeah. I kept saying it was a breathtaking scene, which I thought it was. I mean, there's so much cement. So there's a lot of there's a lot of area, to do your thing as a tailgater.
Mm-hmm.
And that tailgating took my breath away. And I would say the scene took my breath away. Maybe that's going a little far, but it certainly made an impression.
Yeah, I heard you. I don't know if you know, you were sitting behind us in the press box. You had a better seat
I
than we
did know. I was sort of, I guess I'd say, impressed by 1620's assault on Arrowhead. I mean, it was amazing. It was pretty much a flex by 1620.
Yeah, I mean, we had 7 media passes for the game, and some of
7
them
media passes.
Yes, well, not all of them were 1620. Like 2 were connected to Battle, the sponsor, and then
one of them was like a coach's pass.
Josh had a pass that he was the University of Nebraska. He could be in the player and coach area on the sidelines.
Yeah, I wouldn't encourage that. But that's amazing in the context of, I was just talking to Keith Mann, the media guru at Nebraska, about Akron and the lack of coverage. I mean, they haven't even put out Akron hasn't even put out game notes. There's no press conference, video of Joe Moorhead. There's
really
no coverage. There's no coverage in the Akron Beacon Journal. There's nothing. I mean, there's just we live in this world. I hope you understand that it's so much different than a lot of places. It's incredible almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, you and I have had this discussion, and kind of was again on Thursday night. We're old. We like the game notes instead of going on a computer or a phone. We'd like a hard copy of the media guide, which Sip and I are in a bidding war with Keith to have a copy of the media guide because he has 10 of them.
I want some. I want one of them.
Seniority.
But so let's, we've all kind of talked about Cincinnati and, underreacting, overreacting. But let's talk about Akron, Sip. The reality is that this game should not be close, right? I mean, I know we say, hey, got to be nice to your opponent. You don't ever want to overlook anything. We've gone through Georgia Southern and other moments like that. But the reality is, if I look how Nebraska is built and the financials, and I look at how Akron's built and their financials, this game should not be close.
No, it shouldn't. No, you're right. I'm not pushing back on that at all. It's just a matter of, what does that mean then? Is that 34-10, or is that 55-3, or is it something really obtuse? Like where Nebraska gets into the 70s. I don't know. That's the thing. I just don't know but no, it shouldn't be close. So it's kind of awkward. I mean, awkward in that you don't say that if you're Matt Rule.
No.
I don't think you can allow yourself to think that way if you're a Nebraska player. But I always say that we're not in that realm. We can talk about it. It's a separate conversation, but I always have maintained it's sort of awkward because it's probably what they're thinking, but they can't really allow themselves to go too far into that kind of conversation, even in their head.
You never push the panic button after week 1, right? I think that. A lot of people know that. It's just way too much football to be played, way too much time for guys to get better. But when it comes to the pass rush, right? 9 hurries, no sacks, a position where you lost a lot coming from last year to this year that you already were, concerned about. If you're not panicked, Steve Sipple, what currently are you when it comes to Nebraska's pass rush?
Just pure pass rush?
Pure pass rush.
Oh, I mean, here's the thing. We talked about this so much in the off season that it's hard. It's not like it just sprung up on me all of a sudden.
Sure.
I mean, it's something that I've been talking about with people who watch practice. So it's kind of what I expected. So I don't know. I just don't know how to answer it. It's definitely a concern, but it's not something that just sprung up in my mind. It was about what I thought it would be, and I don't know what you do. I just don't. It's not as simple as say, well, Stip, you dial up pressure. No. It's not that simple because first of all, these are Division I teams. They'll know you're dialing it up, and they can respond accordingly. And so it's you're in kind of a fix. It's hard to scheme around. Well, I would say that it's almost impossible to scheme around vulnerability up front. Now, the question is, are they vulnerable? Are they? Is that going to be the way it is? Or is it going to look much different as the season progresses? You have to leave open the possibility of some guys will get better, and you also have to leave open the possibility that they'll kind of tinker with personnel and get some stuff figured out. So, it's just an ongoing conversation.
I would love to see the first 3 that roll out on Saturday night: Nwaneri, Keona Davis, Riley Van Poppel. But let's also bring into this conversation, because you kind of brought it up during the offseason, but it wasn't a big talking point with you. How long do you think we go in this season talking about, man, Tony White did this and John Butler is doing this? How long does that discussion go until we just say, okay, now John Butler, he's comfortable as the guy back calling defensive plays?
How long do we go? Okay. What do you mean?
Because I think one thing that happened, and I think John Butler knows defensive backs. I mean, that's clear if you look at the final play. I mean, he changed up coverage that Cincinnati had not seen the entire game. So he called that. But that was on the back end. I think we probably overlooked, I'm not saying you, because I know you didn't, overlooked, hey, I know he's been a DC, but it's been a while when you've been in the chair and you're calling the defensive signals and you're calling the plays, that maybe it's going to take a little bit for him to get a full handle on what guys can do in the course of 60 minutes to be on point with play calls and personnel and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yes. I would say this, though. I mean, I would say his debut was strong. I mean, Cincinnati got 271 yards and 17 points. So any comparison, I'm not really doing the comparison thing to Tony White. I would say, I mean, I can't do that. I can't do it because Tony White moved to a place. Right? I know people don't want to hear it. I watched the entire Alabama-Florida State game. There's a lot more talent on Florida State's defensive roster than Nebraska's. So he's got a different kind of kitchen to work in. So it's hard for me I wasn't even thinking about, I honestly never even thought about comparing their jobs this year. Butler versus what Tony White's doing, because it's the different situations.
Now he did do one thing, and it's talk about having the roller coaster of, hey, did he play well? And maybe he did play well. Riley Van Poppel Thursday night. So he only played 20 snaps. He showed up without a black shirt, but he's got a single digit. There are times where he got pushed, but then there are times that he made a big stop, and he ended up with 4 tackles. And then subtly this week, his DC kind of intimates, are you playing hard enough? And if you are playing hard, can you play harder? What's your takeaway on where Riley Van Poppel is and where Nebraska needs him to be?
It was again based on what I'd been hearing for a month. or more. It was exactly Van Poppel the way he plays is about exactly what I heard. That he flashes, but he does get moved around a little bit. So exactly, and I think the way you portrayed it was correct. He did grade well. I think he graded well. He graded
okay. He graded good enough. It wasn't a terrible grade, but
graded much better than Judy.
He graded much better than Judy, and frankly, Steve, I think he graded much better than I thought he would after the game.
Yeah, so that I don't know. I don't know what happens going forward. I don't know that anything should happen going forward. I mean, maybe what you would do is flip the snap counts of Judy and Van Poppel. Just play Van Poppel a little bit more than Judy. But I don't want to get into that too much because I don't see practice. I don't see what's happening daily. I don't watch all the film. I hate to question coaches just based on what I see in a game and then the PFF grade, the Pro Football Focus grades. But I mean, just from a outside view, it would maybe make sense to me to play Van Poppel a little bit more than Judy. Again, though, we'll see. I don't know. I feel kind of funny these conversations because again, they held them to 17 and 271. So you want to start making a bunch of changes? I mean, I saw what you did. There's obviously there were some concerns, but I don't know what kind of message you're sending to players if you're doing anything radical right now. So we'll see what it looks like.
RVP graded at 54.4. To Gary's credit, though, he graded at a 70 on tackling. I think the biggest concern, though, when you look at the PFF grades, and regardless of how you feel about PFF and how they do their thing, the highest rushing defense grade was 69.1 from Keona Davis, which is low. The fact that that's your highest is a big concern, and I think it kind of covers all the bases of what we saw on that defensive front. And I don't know, I think that there were some combinations that I hope they do kind of change up, because I don't know if you can. The Jalen George RVP reps definitely weren't the prettiest, but I want to ask you about a different position that we're kind of concerned about, Steve, and that's the running back position. And maybe this is more of an offseason question, but the minute that Matt Rule got here to Nebraska, it was made very clear this team is going to run the ball. This team is going to pound the rock. This team is going to win the time of possession battle. Our goal is to run 75 yards in the fourth quarter of every single game and close out games. Despite having that mindset, why do you think it's been hard for them not only just to get a top starter at the running back position, but even build good depth at the running back position?
Well, they might have good depth. Again, I want to see that play out. You're kind of asking me why I think they don't run the ball better and more. It was tough sledding the other night. I mean, if you look at the second half, there wasn't much there. I mean, I'm with you. I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't want to give up on the depth question, though. It might have very good depth. I want to see if Ives has come back well from a hamstring injury and runs behind his pads, 6'3", 215. If he really digs in and runs behind the pads, I bet that's a good looking picture. I've heard so many good things about Mekhi Nelson, the way he ran the ball in August. I mean, he's a terror. I mean, he's a hard runner. He's a guy that, I've seen some Nebraska running backs in recent years who really didn't exactly explode into contact. He will, from what I understand. So, I think it could be all right. They had a good explanation for why they used Emmett Johnson a lot, and I buy it. It's not that obtuse to me, really, that what they did. We kind of made it that way, and I contributed to it to a certain degree. But what they did with Emmett was reasonable. I mean, it was a reasonable way to use him in that sort of game. What I would say is, why would you put in, for instance, Mekhi Nelson late third quarter or early fourth? I mean, you can't do it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, maybe try to get those guys playing time early, but anyway, I haven't given up on the notion of that they have depth at running back, but I would like to see them run the ball more effectively. But I've been saying that for how long?
Yeah.
How long? I mean, what I always say about it is, we always talk about, oh, they just don't do much in the red zone. It's so hard for them to score in the red zone. And I watch these other teams that run the ball in the red zone. You know, that they're able to run it. And that's what I'd like to see Nebraska do. Run it in the red zone and score that way. But, you know, let's have to see.
Yeah.
I think they have the offensive line to do it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the Bonner discussion comes into play here when you're in the red zone of a guy that, you know, a big body. And how do you think they will try and replace some of his snaps?
Well, I mean, they talked about Carter Nelson. That Matt Rule just literally talked about that. Now it's not. He was careful how he put it, but it's sort of now it's on Carter. This is his opportunity. You don't want to look at it as an opportunity because it's at another player's expense. That to suffer that season-ending injury, but yeah, this is a Carter Nelson discussion now. And there's some discussion about him I really didn't know. I didn't know that he went kind of dead-legged in week 3 of camp, and they didn't like the way he was running. I didn't know that.
Which now Thursday night makes sense with 5 snaps.
Yeah, now that makes more sense. But I also think there's been a learning curve with him, playbook-wise, that I didn't really know. So, but again, I still say, and I've said it a lot, he's got a certain fluidity to him, a certain athleticism that most guys at that position, at his size, don't have. And I think he is an example of someone that can make big plays. But, you know, it kind of comes down to what the football guys tell you. It's simple. He's got to be the safety. He's got to be safety. So see if he can do it.
Hey, one thing in our discussion and us kind of, you know, reading between the lines, but the discussion that we're having this morning, it seems like in year 3, practice matters more than it ever has in terms of what you're given on a game day. Like, you have to practice well and practice precise consistently. And if you do that, then we'll trust you on game day more. Am I reading that right?
Oh, yeah. I think for sure you're reading it right. And a lot of that, of course, emanates from the head coach down, but also it's right in that second layer of leadership with Holgorsen and Butler. You've heard enough of Holgorsen to understand that that's the case. That Matt Rule has said, if a guy's not doing it in practice, Dana won't mess with it, and he'll be very open about it with the player and everybody else. We've heard him be open about it with the media. Butler has not been as blunt about player personnel decisions at the microphone, like in front of the media, but his personality is such that I'm sure he's very bottom line.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to cut someone a lot of slack, you know, they don't do that, which I really appreciate. I guess they can. There's still a ways to go talent-wise over there. That's the thing that struck me most about that first game. It's still not where it needs to be in terms of overall talent on the roster. That's just my opinion. You guys can pick that apart if you want, but so that it's not what I'm getting at is how many options do they really have where you can go beat Michigan. I mean, it's a little more limited than I would have thought.
Hey, Sip, as always, we appreciate good seeing you. We'll see you Saturday night for the little party in Lincoln.
Oh, the little party against Akron. Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks. You.
See you, Sip. It'd be great if it was a big party.
I'm telling you, should be fun. Should be fun.
I can't wait.
In all reality, it shouldn't be a close football game. If you're looking at finances, and Akron literally has as much as we have in our pocket of NIL funds for football. Now, I might be exaggerating a little bit because Jimmy walks around with hundreds.
Far from it. You see how much diapers and formula cost? Stuff ain't cheap.
They walk around with a United Explorer card with a very low limit on it.
Hey, one thing a little bit was Sipple said about passing game and Nelson, not necessarily him. This is the game to stretch the field So I would love to see a Mills and a Clark have some track shoes on and to see if we can find out if they can fly.
I would like to see Cortez Mills get more than 6 snaps this game. That would be, the hope.
I would definitely hope that. If it's not happening, then I think it's more not Nebraska, but something happened to him.
I wonder what the line would be on an Emmett Johnson touches in this game versus Akron. I think that'd be a hard line to set.
I still think you're in the 18 to 20 range.
Really?
You're number one running back. You still have to run him.
Well, no,
you got to get lathered up.
I'm not saying. See, because I've heard some people be like, "Why?
Then you get points.
Like, just don't play Emmett. Just rest Emmett. You can't not play him." But I don't think he's gonna get. He won't get 32. At least I hope it doesn't get 32. That'd be terrible.
Brian Edwards coming up next. By the way, people forget about that movie. Iceman. He was engaged with 5. I repeat, 5 bogeys after Hollywood was shot down. Maverick was airborne. Who was the best pilot?
Viper. Viper is the best pilot in Top Gun.
We'll discuss.
I'm kidding.
We'll discuss on the
great series for Take 5.
Hey, we'll discuss on the Take 5.
Yeah.
No, we're doing the NFL preview on Take 5.
Hey, that mission fails if anyone else is up there solo.
Then Iceman,
especially Cougar.
Iceman is the best Top Gun pilot in the lore, in the canon.
He could get you a bucket
now,
late.
Technically, flying ability, Kaczynski was 1, and then followed by Viper. I've thought about this. It'll be on Take 5.
That'd be great. You want to do it today?
Brian Edwards coming up next. The phones in Destin, Florida, a little wonky this morning.
I'd go to the beach. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there. We'll get Brian Edwards here.
Guess who's back?
So I want to talk about the Cy-Hawk game with the coach for life, Matt Campbell, who Iowa State hasn't beaten Iowa in Ames since 2011. Well, let's start right there as we welcome in senior handicapper for Vegas Insider, MajorWager.com. All of the above, and a guy that is very excited that you got us.
Yeah, I can
okay. All right, I was giving you a big welcome, and also fresh off a blowout of Long Island, it is Brian Edwards. Thank you very much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. How are we?
Good.
Good. How are you? Football in Florida is back.
Yeah, hope so. Yeah, South Florida looked good. The Knolls looked good. I guess it was a great week for the Sunshine.
FIU looked good.
South Florida.
I don't really think about those other things. Yeah.
All right, let's. We got a busy card with the start of the NFL tonight, and of course, week 2 of college football. Let's start in Ames. Big noon is there. It's the Cy-Hawk game. Iowa State hasn't beaten Iowa back-to-back years since 11-12. They haven't beaten them in Ames since 11. They got Rocco. Iowa has Gronowski. Iowa State's a little bit of a light favorite. Walk us through your thinking on Iowa State, Iowa.
Yeah, so Iowa, like you said, they've been running things in Ames, and they had won 6 in a row, regardless of the venue. But Iowa State has now won 2 of the last 3 head-to-head. I like how Rocco Beck is playing 68.8% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, no picks, a rushing touchdown. And Gronkowski, I'm sure they didn't want to put much on film for the Cyclones, but I guess he was checked down Charlie last week, 8 of 15 for 44 yards. I know he's supposed to be an upgrade, and I've seen he throws good balls. He's got good size, but I don't know. I got to go Iowa State here. 9-5 against the spread. Last 14 as home favorites. I'll lay the 3 of the Cyclones.
Virginia Tech has not beaten outside of the ACC a Power 4 team since 2017, and here comes Vandy into Blacksburg as an 1-point underdog.
Yeah, I made Vandy -3. I think they're the better team. Since Diego Pavia got there, they're 8-6 straight up, 10-4 against the spread. They've been an underdog 10 times with Pavia, 8-2 ATS, 5 outright wins. They've been a road dog 4 times, 4-0 against the spread, 2 outright wins. The line tells us it's going to be a close game. That's bad news for the Hokies. They're 1-12 straight up in 13 one-possession games on Brent Pryde's watch. During his tenure, they're now 16-22 straight up, 18-20 against the spread. I saw an Offshore this week had the odds for first FBS coach to get fired, and he was the chalk at +500. I like Vandy to win it outright behind Diego Pavia, who's got a nice new toy. Trey Richardson, a D2 transfer, is a track star, 5 catches, 74 yards last week.
All right, border war in Columbia. Missouri is nearly a touchdown favorite, B.
Yeah, and I see a lot of books are up to 6.5. I got 6, but I like it at 7 or fewer. I made Mizzou -10. They have won 11 in a row at home and 17 of 18. The only loss was when Jaden Daniels directed that great comeback win for LSU a couple of years back. Now, that doesn't matter. Got to win by 7 is what we're worried about. But during the 11-game home winning streak, 7 wins by 7 or more. My biggest question with the team was Trabula, and he was 23 of 28 for 283, 2 tutties, a pick, and 65 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 attempts. Last week, Kevin Coleman, the transfer from Mississippi State, 6 catches, 48 yards. Marquise Johnson showed he's ready to be the WR1, 5 catches, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. The transfer, Ahmad Hardy from ULM, first team All-Sun Belt last year, 10 carries, 100 rushing yards, 1 TD. I know Jalen Daniels is playing very well, and it looked better that Fresno State bounced back and beat Georgia Southern 42-14. Looks better for KU, but I think Missouri gets some separation late and wins a 34-21 type game.
All right, final college game on the card. This is a weird line because we think highly of Illinois. They go to Duke. Fighting Illini are only a 3-point favorite.
Yeah.
What's up with this line?
Yeah, I think it's a little small. I made it 4.5. Illinois, going back to last year, has now won 5 in a row. Now 12-3 their last 15. Luke Altmaier last 16 starts, 30-7 TDI&T ratio. Under Belima, Illinois has only been a road favorite 3 times, but 3-0 against the spread. I know Duke played very well at home, and actually 2-0 as a home dog. ATS with 1 outright win under Diaz, but they've been good at home since Elko got there several years ago. But it's not Cameron Indoor Stadium. It's not a raucous environment. Illinois -3.
NFL starts tonight. Everybody is excited about it. And one matchup, very sneaky good matchup. Some people think that this could be potentially an NFC championship matchup. Lions on the road at Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers. Lions don't have their center, don't have a guard, don't have their 2 coordinators from last year, but 2.5-point underdog, B.
They got Aiden Hutchinson, and unlike the Commanders game when Amik Robertson limped off the second play from scrimmage when they were down 7 defensive starters, they are mostly healthy defensively. Now, one of the guys tore his ACL in November. He's not going to be back for a month or 2, but 10 of 11 starters back on defense. This was the best team in the NFL last year until defensive injuries hit.
Yeah.
I like Detroit to win outright. I got them +2.5.
All right, this is the ultimate bridesmaid takes on the bride matchup here, and it's going to happen in Brazil of all places on a Friday on YouTube, which is such a weird sentence to say. I couldn't imagine saying that 10 years ago. But the Chiefs 3-point favorite against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I got to go to Chiefs here. After that pimp slap they took in the Super Bowl, you got to think they've had all season to chew on that. You got to think they're focused. Last 9 games when they're favored by 3 or fewer or an underdog, 8-1, both straight up and ATS. I like the Chiefs as long as it's 3 or fewer. And I like their win total at either 10.5, 11, or 11.5, depending on what odds you want. I like your win total to go over as well.
And then your next 2 picks here, you got a teaser, which I love. I love a good teaser, and then you got a future as well, going with a little NFC East flavor. Is that the best conference in the league right now?
AFC West,
okay.
NFC North.
Yeah.
I like the top 2 teams in the NFC East. I think the Giants are going to be improved. Either a money line parlay or a teaser, whichever works best for you, whatever your odds on the money line are, or your number, whichever works best. Money line parlay or teaser with Commanders and Eagles. I did a couple of small bets on Eagles tonight. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown -150. If you can get him anytime touchdown specific to the first half, you should be able to get plus money. I like that. And I'm okay with -2.5 Eagles first quarter. I'm okay with their team total over 6.5 in the first quarter, over 13.5 first half. AJ Brown over 70.5 receiving yards. I made small plays on all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And big play, Commanders over 9.5 season win total.
And then your final pick, you got a pick to win an incredibly competitive division. I think this is the only division, Brian, if I'm not mistaken, where the favorite is plus money. It's the NFC North. Who do you have winning the North this year?
Well, I already had Detroit before the Parsons trade, but I added more at better odds. Detroit's the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. They were last year. Those injuries, obviously it impacted the way teams look at them. Much is being made of the coordinator losses. And look, Frank Ragnow is a huge loss, but I think Tate Ratledge is going to be good. 2-time All-American from Georgia. I think the Mauler from BC, Christian Monagahe, I think he's going to be good. Stepping in for Zietler, who went to the Titans. I think the Lions are the best team in the NFL. Give me them plus 160 to win the NFC North.
Hey, great stuff. Enjoy the football this weekend. As always, we enjoy the conversation.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great week.
That's Brian Edwards. You can follow him on Twitter at VegasBEdwards. Also, MajorWager.com. Really good website. Lots of stuff from Brian up there. All right. Enjoy the football tonight. Good luck, Jimmy.
It's Big Brother eviction night. Let's see. Yankees, Astros. A lot of stuff going on.
That is true. That's an important game. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Good luck to your bets.
Pickens over 50 receiving yards parlayed with the Jalen Hurts anytime touchdowns. What we're rolling with.
All right. We'll see you on TV tonight over on C-Dub.
There's my
Thursday
game.
Night Lights.
Enjoying that.
Hopefully it'll be a good game. Get to watch a couple of high-level players that are headed to college in that game. We're playing the Vista and Lincoln North Star. We'll talk tomorrow on a Football Friday Fiesta ahead of Nebraska and the Zips. Until then, crossover's coming up next. We'll talk to you in 20 hours. For Jimmy, for Matt, I'm Gary. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone.